Welcome, everyone. We'll be live in about 90 seconds. We got a lot to talk about on the radio today. And Friday is our open phones day. Anything people want to talk about is fair game. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. Yes. I had a bizarre encounter at the drive-thru at Starbucks this morning. I made a YouTube short about it. If you watch me on my shorts, you can check that out. I tell people are just nuts. Just nuts. People are just nuts.
Not just homes and businesses, Florida produces 70% of citrus, like oranges and grapefruit. So depending on the damage to crops, experts warn that fruit and juice prices may rise. Good news, economists do not expect the price of oil and gas to rise, as Florida is not an energy producer. ABC News. Festivals, football, flannels. Some say fall is their favorite time of year. And this fall, there are now updated COVID-19 booster shots designed to help protect against COVID-19.
All right, here we go.
Back to the Steve Kane Show with...
Yes. Welcome, everyone. Oh, man. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show. Indeed, you are. The Steve Kane Radio Show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 45 years on the radio this year. The Steve Kane Show. That's right, and we've got a lot to talk about. Oh, man. Those of you that are new to the program, just so you know, I am broadcasting live from the radio station in Boca Raton. Steve connects from his own private studio in Cooper City. And we are on the air here on the radio from North Miami, north through Broward, Boca, the Palm Beaches, and the Treasure Coast. And we're here weekday mornings from 5 until 9 a.m. Welcome. We have a lot to talk about today. Oh, man, do we have a lot to talk about today. Lots of stuff. Yesterday, early on in the show, we were talking about this frightening moment of Joe Biden calling a dead woman up on stage who had passed away about 6-7 weeks ago, almost full 2 months. And just let me play this clip because it fits into what we got to do next. This is Biden day before yesterday, asking a woman who died the first week of August to come up on stage and take the podium with him.
Representative Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here to help make this a reality.
Okay, yeah. And I was talking yesterday that it is 25th Amendment time, that Kamala Harris is not living up to the very few duties that a vice president has, and she is allowing someone who is out of it to, have control of the nuclear football and everything, and she has a duty to step forward. And I was asking the question, which would be worse? Biden, who's checked out with the cognitive decline, or the brainless Kamala Harris? And yesterday, I've had a change of thought on this. We're in a very bad, dangerous situation here in the United States. And yesterday I said, she's not a smart woman, but at least she's coherent, as opposed to the incoherent Joe Biden. Well, then she goes to the DMZ in South Korea. She goes to South Korea and says this.
So the United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. And it is an alliance that is strong and enduring.
Wow. So she's a great diplomat. She may have completed the job that President Trump started. Apparently, Kamala Harris has signed some type of alliance agreement between the United States and Kim Jong-un and North Korea. And she didn't even correct it. So I am here to tell you this. I'm here to tell you this. We would not be better off with Kamala Harris. I'm sorry to tell you, America has no hope until 2024, where this is it. This is it. Her stupidity is equal to his incoherent Alzheimer's ramblings. So that no, she is not a better option. She's equally as bad in another way. Oh my goodness. That's worse than even the old days with Dan Quayle. Because Dan Quayle is a very smart man. He just made a couple of mistakes and, like me, is not great when it comes to spelling. Oh my goodness. Is that something? Is that scary? Now, did you guys catch the press conference with our second MAGA president and second MAGA first lady? Last night, the later one in the evening. Of course, I'm talking about the rock star of governors, Governor Ron DeSantis, and Florida's First Lady, Casey DeSantis. Oh my goodness. Did you see this press conference? I'm talking about the one that was in the evening. Oh man, what a great press conference. What a great team they make. You know, I've not heard Governor DeSantis' wife really speak. I've seen her say hello or things like that. But she is in charge of the fundraising efforts for the parts of Florida that have been hit so hard by this hurricane. And she raised, what, $10 million yesterday? My wife and I donated. I don't know how much my wife did it, you know. We donated to that fund that Casey DeSantis set up. But she came to the podium, and I had forgotten what her background is. My wife had reminded me. She was a local television person in Jacksonville, Florida. And she also worked for the Golf Channel. So like Carrie Lake, she is a very, very, very polished news person. And she's good. And when she came up yesterday, after Governor DeSantis and some others came up, and he introduced her as the First Lady, which I've not heard her referred to as the First Lady before, but she is the First Lady of Florida. She just did a great job. And she is right on it. This is not some ceremonial position where she's just on her husband's coattails. She's got this whole thing organized, Casey DeSantis. Boy, I'd like to see Dr. Jill Biden do something like that. I don't think so. She would just come in and be the ceremonial head. Florida's First Lady, Mrs. DeSantis, she is actually running the operation. She is not it's not a ceremonial leadership position. And she was even in the background giving the website address and text numbers and all of that from the background that she had all the time. So and when she came up to the podium, man, I'd love to see her take some questions from the fake news media. Wouldn't you? Now, I was listening to the news of the last 12 hours. I was up early following the news. And they keep they're talking about the devastation, and I was watching a lot of it yesterday, a lot of the hurricane devastation. I mean, it looks like Nagasaki over there. Doesn't it like Nagasaki? Hiroshima? Or is it Hiroshima? Whatever. But it's awful. And that really hits me. I've spent a lot of time over there throughout my entire life on the west coast of Florida. I never lived over there, but I've had friends and family over there, and I have visited many, many times these places that most of you didn't hear of before a couple of days ago. And Fort Myers in particular, and I love Fort Myers, and it's just, looking at it, it's awful. I mean, it's just awful. But I've heard in the news it being reported that what percentage of citrus comes from Florida? A huge amount of it. It was like 90% or something. It was this huge number of citrus comes from Florida. That's what Florida is known for. And they said that there was no environmental damage because Florida is not doesn't produce energy. That is not true. That is not true. Collier County is the county in which Naples, Florida is in. And you've heard people talking about Naples because they got hit, that area over there. That's all in the hurricane zone. Out in the Everglades, out in the Florida Everglades of Collier County, which the hurricane passed over, there are oil wells. Yeah, that's true. Collier County has had oil wells since the 20s or 30s. And they got oil wells in the Everglades before all this EPA nonsense. So no, active oil wells in the Everglades of Florida, which to my knowledge, I've never heard of a spill or an accident. And not only that, they're active oil wells that have a pipeline that heads out of the Everglades to wherever they take the oil to put it in whatever. No, I didn't hear anything about those oil wells getting trashed and oil spilling in the Florida Everglades. So no, there is energy produced out of Florida. And by the way, another thing, the Gulf of Mexico has so many oil platforms in it, you could almost skip from the west coast of Florida to Mexico or Texas or Louisiana just from, you could probably take a small boat, seriously, you could probably take a small boat and make it to Texas across the Gulf of Mexico, stopping and refueling at oil platforms. And I didn't hear about any accidents there. So no, there's a lot of energy produced in Florida, around Florida, and no environmental devastation with one of the strongest hurricanes to come through and hit Florida in a long time. So don't believe this fake news that you're hearing. All right, now listen, we're going to take our first break of the hour. Remember, Fridays is open phones. Anything and everything you have on your mind is fair game on Fridays here on the program. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. You don't have to limit your content and your calls to topics that Steve and I bring up on the program, although I got a lot of topics I'm going to get into starting right after this break. So it is open phones, Open MAGA Mike Friday. Our number is toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. And man, I've got a long list of topics because the last couple days we've had to focus on the hurricane, but a lot has happened in the last 24 hours, and we're going to touch on a lot of it as much as we can until 9. All right, I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-CANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
Denise Hair Salon, one of the trendiest salons in Brooklyn, is officially in Boca. Known for its professionalism and uniquely talented staff, we're excited to offer a free consultation for every new client. We're looking forward to welcoming you to our new location. Book your appointment today and get 20% off any hair service.
Located at 7600 North Federal Highway in Boca, or check us out on IG at Denise Hair Salon and call 561-826-8704.
That's Denise with the Z.
Do you suffer from knee pain? Have you been told that you have bone on bone or need a knee replacement? Have you been told that you have osteoarthritis? Well, then come see us at Lighthouse Medical Center. We have non-surgical solutions that include rehab and injections that can prevent you from having to have surgery or prolong the surgery. We've been in practice for 75 years in South Florida. You don't have to live with pain any longer. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know, we felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard, aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Join us for Moments of Scripture, hosted by Jan Coleman every Sunday morning from 6 to 6:30 a.m. We will read the Bible, pray, and offer blessings to all who listen in the name of our Lord and Savior. Moments of Scripture every Sunday at 6 a.m.
Hear that music? That means it's Christmas shopping season again. And when you're Christmas shopping, there's no better place to go than MyPillow.com. And with our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, you will find the lowest prices ever on top. By the way, guys, I put the link to my Patreon page. You know, great way to support all the content I put together, and I put together a lot of content. Become a Patreon supporter, and there's a lot of exclusive content that Patreon supporters have access to. And yesterday I did a podcast with my daughter Emily. We were talking about liberalism in California and giving driver's licenses to illegals, and Governor DeSantis, and that's available exclusively to Patreon supporters. So if you become a Patreon supporter, you get access to all that exclusive content, and there's a lot of it. All right, here we go. I pinned the link to the chat.
Hi, I'm Tonka. Saturday mornings will never be the same. Neither is your body. I'm gonna let you in on my big health secrets. Body Talk with Tonka. Saturday mornings on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9. Join the movement.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Yes, we are back. I am Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. You know, I'll tell you, I've been doing nothing but watching the weather for like 4 days, but I missed what the temperature was going to be this morning. It is cold out, man. Have you guys been outside yet? I went outside. I'm wearing short sleeves, of course. Trump t-shirt as usual. But I went outside. It is chilly outside this morning. Man, oh man. And it's a great time to go to mypillow.com and get yourself some of those MyPillow sheets. I've got 6 sets of these, okay? We've got 4 sets of regular MyPillow sheets. I'm talking about the 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. They are so wonderful, so perfect. But we have 2 sets of the flannel that we got last winter. And if you go to mypillow.com, the 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets of Mike Lindell's, both the regular and the flannel, with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, just $39.99. This is a very, very low price, just $39.99 with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. All the sizes and all the colors, including all of those for the flannel sheets, are available in stock. But I got that first little feeling of the cold weather this morning. People are going to be ordering those sheets, especially the flannel sheets. So order yours while they have all the mattress sizes and colors and patterns in stock. $39.99 for the Mike Lindell MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets when you use our promo code Kane, Kane, at checkout at mypillow.com. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code Kane, and you can take advantage of all the specials there. Save up to 66% off with our promo code Kane. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie.
Oh, hey, Richie.
First of all, real quick with Kamala Harris. She was reading that. She didn't just speak it. She actually read it. Does that tell you that whoever wrote it, and if she wrote it, she is ignorant?
Yeah.
I mean, that was
well, either that or she has revealed a secret alliance we've had with North Korea, and or she's a brilliant diplomat. She has formed an alliance with North Korea. And if I were questioning her on that, you know what this is what my question would be to really check how stupid she is. You know, I would ask her, I say, you know, this alliance that America has with North Korea, Madam Vice President, how will East Korea respond to that? I don't know if you get it. Then you can really find out how stupid she is, right? Hey, liberals, there is no East Korea. That's the joke, okay? Okay, yes.
So, she read that, but Rocket Man, little Rocket Man, shot a rocket off in response to her visit.
It must have been celebrating the alliance.
So he's really thumbing his nose at this administration, which is a disaster. Now the question I have for you also. I was watching a lot of the devastation yesterday. I can't believe what I'm watching over the West Coast. This is not something that's going to be fixed right away. It's going to take some people maybe years. Some people may never be able to rebuild. But what is this going to do? Most of these areas are strong Republican men in the West.
Oh. Yeah. That's a good point. You're talking about in November. Well, that area actually, I can't remember which city it is, but that's where That's where, yeah, there are obviously a lot of Republicans over there. It's Florida. That's Charlie Crist is from over in that area. There's a lot of Democrats too. So yeah, I know what you mean. What's it going to do in November? It's going to reduce our turnout on the west coast of Florida, no doubt.
And the East Coast, which we're on the side that are liberal, if anything, from and the I-4 corridor south, and we didn't get touched. Everything that got hit, and for people who don't realize it, the west coast of Florida, they don't have that many. It's not all New York and the west coast. It's Cincinnati, Ohio. It's the big.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, it is. Some hardcore Republican areas got hit. There's no doubt about it. I will agree with that. It looks like that sheriff over in Lee County might have gotten ahead of things, though, with hundreds of dead. I haven't, that seems to have. Yeah, we haven't got any updates on that.
But he was wrong. But I'm looking at Sanibel Island, man.
How far is Sanibel from the mainland, the bridge? How long is that bridge? How far out are they?
That bridge, it's like...
It's not that far out.
No. It's sort of like, with Indian River?
Yeah.
Going from Melbourne to the beach.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Is it like half a mile? Is it a mile? Because Sanibel, it's not like Key West with the 7-mile bridge. But what the Army Corps of Engineers, what they'll do is they'll come in and build a temporary bridge. It'll be of metal and like they, how they do the military. That's what they'll do until it's repaired.
Do that quick, but the Sanibel, it's a causeway. It's like going from Miami Beach to...
Yeah, it's like a mile or so. Yeah, it's not that far. I haven't been up there in so long to that area. I've never been to Sanibel. My mother loves Sanibel, but I've never been. She was there last year, actually. But, yeah.
And I don't want people to think I'm cold because I'm thinking about elections. But my God, this particular election is so...
Well, then again, I don't know. I mean, people... You know what one thing I wonder, there's a lot of talk even from the governor about your homeowners policies. A lot of these people, their homeowners policies went up with the hurricane when their home got blown away. And they don't know who their agents are or anything. It's a mess.
They say that it's going to double.
Well, my homeowner's insurance went up a lot last year. A lot.
From this storm, it's going to double.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine it doubling with me. I'm on a fixed income. I'm not crying here. But the fact of the matter is, with this inflation and everything else going on, this is really...
Oh, yeah.
I can get a temporary job.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, this is getting crazy already. You walk into a store and it's...
I got news for you, Richie. Most everybody's on a fixed income. Anybody that has a job, their salary is their salary, their hourly pay is their hourly pay. We're all on fixed incomes in one way or another.
That's true. That's true. Now they're talking about increasing Social Security.
Yeah, I just got a text message from someone. They said that bridge to Sanibel is miles, plural, long. It's been so long since I've been up there, I just don't remember. I just can't remember. So it's miles long? Wow. Oh, my goodness.
It starts out, it's got to go over the water.
Water
between it. So it starts out, it's not really, it starts out on land like everything else, and then there's the section that goes over the water, coming off.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
The island is not that deep, but it's very affluent.
Oh yes, it is. It's very. If you see some of the aerial footage, those are big houses. Yeah, they're mini mansions, is what they are, and at Florida prices, they're pretty expensive too.
I just wanted your opinion on this. What's going to happen with the election?
Well, I would obviously it's going to reduce voter turnout on the West Coast in the Fort Myers area, but I don't think it'll hurt DeSantis. I mean, obviously, turnout's going to be low, but it's going to be low for the Democrats, too. Not everyone over there is a Republican. There's a lot of Democrats in Florida, right? And there are a lot over there, too. And Kissimmee. It's Kissimmee, Richie. How long have you been in Florida?
Yeah, I call it.
You sound like the guy on the Weather Channel.
My daughter used to kiss me every time we got over there to go to Disney World. But the thing is that that was underwater where they had airboats. I think it was on 192. They had airboats going back.
Well, let me tell you, 192 in Kissimmee, You know, it's I saw that flooding, and that's an area where a lot of homeless and semi-homeless people live in motels, and they've lost everything beyond everything. They've already lost everything to be in the motel living. Listen, Richie, take care. I got to run for our break. Callers on hold, stand by. We'll take our break at the bottom of the hour and come back with your calls and a whole bunch more to talk about. You know, at Berkeley, they have Jewish-free zones at Berkeley now. I'm not kidding. I'm going to get to that a little later. I know. Can you imagine? Pretty sick, isn't it? It's like Munich, 38 at Berkeley. All right. The number is 888-GO-CANE1, 888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back with your calls after this. The number is 888-GO-CANE1, 888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back with your calls after this.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Oh, man. Oh, man. I tell you. You know, these liberals, I'm not kidding, they call them Zionist free zones at Berkeley. I'm going to talk about that later. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Anti-Semitism alive and well in the Democrat Party. It's just disgusting, you know. It's just, yeah. I mean, for them to, and they're bragging about the Jewish free zones. It's not like something that just, you know, was going on and was some quiet anti-Semitism. They're like proud of their anti-Semitism. I've never seen anything quite like it. Not really, I haven't. Not outside of like American History X or something. Oh man. Did any of you see my YouTube short about this lunatic lady that came up to my car at the drive-thru at Starbucks this morning? What a nutbag.
The surface streets are crash-free, but we're seeing some more volume on Southern Boulevard eastbound coming out of the acreage, and we also have a disabled vehicle blocking your right shoulder on 95 heading northbound past Atlantic Avenue.
Just strange people.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org. That's traffic. I'm Chris Barr.
The Steve Kane 2023 MAGA Cruise is right around the corner. We leave January 28th on the Celebrity Apex out of Fort Lauderdale. First stop, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Then Tortola in the British Virgin Islands. And then St. Kitts. With exclusive events just for our group. Fine dining together. Yeah, this is on our last cruise. Mayan ruins. On the line is Ian from Cruise and Travel. That's me on the 7 Mile Beach in the Cayman Islands. I lost that hat. I got wet in the water that day.
During COVID, during the height of the pandemic, so we got some incredible deals.
Call Ian right now and lock in your cabin. Ran into somebody from our cruise. We went to Disney World. My wife and I with Sarah, you know, who's in the chat room all the time. She was on the cruise, and we went to Disney World, and we ran into a guy that was on our cruise. Oh yeah, that's me at the Trump rally. Let me show you. Yeah, he was on our cruise. We ran into him out in front of Space Mountain. Me and Laura Loomer.
Distinct character and a vibe that's unique to your personality and style. Stop to our showroom at Florida Luxury Cabinets for your free consultation. Florida Luxury Cabinets, 2621 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. Call
Trump rally.
561-646-8560. That's 561-646-8560.
Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is coming. I Will Advisors has all the education you need to make an informed decision about your plan for you and your family. I Will Advisors specializes in every aspect of Medicare and what options are most likely to help or hurt you. And that way you can get a plan that fits your lifestyle and needs at an affordable rate. Call Debbie at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
If you have rare coins, diamonds, gold, silver, and watches to sell, and you're looking for a fair price, look no further than Tweery's Rare Coins and Jewelry. I'm Dean Muccio. Tweery's is family-owned and operated, and has been
the Trump rally this weekend is in Michigan.
South Florida. pays you a great price for your valuable items. You can call them at 561-649-COIN. That's
Oh, Freedom Soup. Hey, Freedom Soup.
646. Or go to their website.
Michigan. The rally this weekend's in Michigan.
You know, one thing I love about Tweri's Rare Coins and Jewelry, the family atmosphere. You can tell they love what they do. Kevin, who is fourth generation, he said that he takes calls from customers day and night. They're at 3971 South Jog Road on the northwest corner of Lakewood and Jog Road in Green Acres Plaza. Tweri's Rare Coins and Jewelry. Tell him Dean Muccio sent you.
A sniffle here and a sneeze.
You know, I got your Freedom Soup. I got your email. I guess you emailed me a couple weeks ago, and I emailed you back. I'm not sure if you got it.
You might have an allergy. Find out and have your allergies tested at any lab test now of Coral Springs or any lab test now of Boca. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood on the Coral Square Mall. Give them a call, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is at the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009.
Okay, Jamin.
They will test for both environmental and food allergies. No appointment is necessary. And make sure you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plum tender and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show, celebrating 45 years on the air.
Yes, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Now, Sunday at noon, Steve and I are going to go have lunch at Anne Marie's in Pompano on Copans and US 1 Federal Highway in the same plaza as the movie theater. This is an unofficial, this is not like an official personal appearance. Steve and I are just going for lunch, and you're welcome to stop by and say hi and have lunch with us. I'm looking forward to it. And that's becoming a weekend tradition in my family, is a meal at Anne Marie's. This will be the third week in a row. And man, the food is delicious. I'm going to order the lasagna. I was going to order it the first time and the second time, but I'm going to I'm going to order the lasagna this time. I'm going to go through at some point every dish on the meal, and everything is so great because Anne Marie's is family owned and operated. Everything's homemade, including the sauces, and it's just so good. And because it's family owned and operated, everything is homemade. They take such great pride in their food, and it shows with every bite. So Steve and I will be there Sunday at noon. That's when they open on Sundays. By the way, they're closed on Mondays, but open the other 6 days of the week. But Steve and I will be in there noontime, right when they open. We'll probably be in the parking lot waiting for the door to open, because Steve and I are morning guys. So noon for Steve and I is like 5 in the afternoon for the rest of the people out there. So we'll see you there. Again, Anne Marie's is located on the corner of Copans and US 1 Federal Highway on the west side of Federal in the same plaza as the movie theater. All right. 1-888-GO-CANE-1 on this open phone Friday, open MAGA mic Friday. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Mike. How are you?
Okay, so on Monday, you and your lovely wife there on your podcast talked about the possibility of buying Biden out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my question is this: Biden's been in the corruption game for a long time, right?
His entire adult life.
His entire adult life. So he's got to be at least a billionaire.
No. No, he's, believe it or not, the Bidens are strapped. There's a lot of people in the Biden family that are on the corruption, right? The kids, him, the wife, the brother, that family. He's got a sister. No, the reason that he ran for office again is because they've gone through the money. Payoffs is not residual income. Like President Trump has revenue streams from all of his properties and investments. When you're taking bribes and payoffs, that's usually a one-time deal. You don't have like a revenue stream out of it. And he's running because he needs the money for the family. He's trying to set them up. It's a little more detailed. His son that passed away, Bo, the plan was for him to take over the family business of being a corrupt public official. He was going to be the senator from Delaware, and sadly he passed. And so Joe had to come out of retirement.
Right, now, my question is this: exactly how much would it take to buy him off, to buy him out? In other words, and if they can't, even if the Democrats can't do it, then what? I mean, the only other option would be they're not going to invoke the 25th Amendment. You know, they're not going to allow.
Well, do we after what we saw with Kamala yesterday? Do we really want them to? Are we better off? I mean, she's talking about our alliance with North Korea and how important it is. I don't think that she's a very good alternative.
And on that, just remember this: at the beginning of our great President Trump's reign, remember Dennis Rodman? He said that at the time that the little rocket man was ready to talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a few months later, after Trump takes over, Trump goes over, or he brings him over or whatever, and talks with him, which eventually led to Trump being the first president to step foot in the DMZ.
Mm-hmm.
So he, Lil Recommend actually has respect for President Trump.
Well, and I'll tell you this, Dennis Rodman set up the whole meeting between President Trump and Kim Jong-un. And it sounds so ridiculous. It sounds so I remember when Rodman used to go around wearing the wedding dress and everything. But he's a diplomat of sorts, and he brokered that whole thing through his basketball relationship with Kim Jong-un. Hey, Mike in Louisiana, thanks for the call. Yeah, see, it's open phones. Anything on your mind, as you can tell by the calls. I was reading in the Daily Caller this morning. Listen to this. Phone calls from President Joe Biden. This is in the Daily Caller. Did I say the Mail? This is in the Daily Caller. Phone calls from President Joe Biden to mayors and county chairs in Florida went unanswered Wednesday. A Wednesday statement from the White House detailed that Biden made separate calls to the mayors of Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Sarasota, and the chair of the Charlotte County, Florida Commission to let them know that the federal government will support them as Hurricane Ian made landfall. But, listen to this. The Daily Caller spoke with the mayor of Sarasota, who said that he had not received a call or voicemail. He did, however, speak to Special Assistant to the President and Deputy Director of Governmental Affairs, Gabe Amo, on Tuesday. But that these calls were going to voicemail. People were not taking Biden's calls. Well, they're probably busy. I'm going to say this. I watched the press conference with Governor DeSantis and his wife last night, which was just a great one. I'm so glad I caught it. I caught the whole thing, and the TV cut away from it, and I went online and watched the rest of it, and I'm glad I did, because if I had not done that, did they carry on cable news Florida's First Lady when she spoke? She's so good. Man, she's like Carrie Lake. Let Casey DeSantis take some questions from these fake news media people. Boy, they're, a lot of times, married people, a lot of times they're like got the same type of personality and a lot of, traits, and you can certainly sense that in Florida's First Lady. But the media, when they started asking Governor DeSantis questions, they started asking him about Biden coming to town and, are you going to meet with Biden? He says, well, is he coming? Is that official? I don't know. And he even asked the FEMA guy, right, who's Biden's rep. Have they told you the White House? Is he coming? I haven't heard that yet. This, and I'm going to say this as a Floridian, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. What you think about this, agree, disagree, whichever. We don't want Biden to come to Florida. What's the point? What is the point of Joe Biden? We just want FEMA to do their job and the Army Corps of Engineers to do their job. We don't need photo ops from Biden walking through the devastation in Florida. I think Biden should not come to Florida. I think Joe Biden should do what he does on the weekends, his dirty dealings in Delaware, okay? We don't want you in Florida. There's no point to it. And frankly, the big media and security and all that go into it just would go away from rescue efforts and cleanup efforts and just mess everything up. So no, we don't want you in Florida surveying damage from the hurricane. But I do promise you this. If Biden does come to Florida, there will be no hugs on the beach between DeSantis and Biden like with Chris Christie and Obama. Now, what do you guys think? Should we tell Biden not to come to Florida to survey the damage? What is the point of that? How would it help us? Would it cause more trouble than it's worth? Yes. Yes. It would cause more trouble than it's worth. No, I don't want him coming to Florida. I just think it's a mistake. And you know what? I don't know if he really does. The media, when I was watching the DeSantis press conference, they're in a bit of a catch-22, right? I know they're talking about climate change and global warming. Let me play this. This is The View yesterday, the Coven of The View. This is Joy Behar.
This is the quote from Governor DeSantis about climate change. Quote, I am not in the pews of the church of the global warming leftists. This is what he thinks about climate change, and now his state is getting hit with one of the worst hurricanes that will ever see.
Okay, yeah, and there's Nipsey Russell in the background. Oh no, that's Whoopi. She just sounds like Nipsey Russell. Yeah, so the hurricane happened because of climate change. He's opposed to climate change funding, so he's responsible for the hurricane. They're in a catch-22 because, they want to attack DeSantis, but he is going to do such a competent, perfect job with the cleanup of these people's lives on the West Coast. They'll look like what they are, hacks, if they start to go after him too much. So they don't know what to do. I noticed a lot of confusion from the media during the press conferences yesterday with DeSantis. But no, Biden, please do not come to Florida. We don't want you here. We don't need you here. You have nothing to offer. President Trump, he's welcome to visit the area. He's a Floridian. President Trump rallied tomorrow night in Michigan. President Trump, he was at Mar-a-Lago, right here at home in Florida during the hurricane. He's a Floridian. He could add something to it. He's one of us. Biden, you're not. All right, let's take our last break of the hour. We'll be back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Don't go anywhere. A Floridian. He could add something to it. He's one of us. Biden, you're not. All right. Let's take our last break of the hour. We'll be back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Don't go anywhere.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show on only 5.3 and 96.9.
Brian Craig here. How would you like a free doorbell camera? That's right, a free doorbell camera. I have one and you will love one. The first 40 listeners who call 1-833-283-5050 will get a free doorbell camera that connects with your cell phone with the installation of your Sloman Shield. You can see your home right from the palm of your hands, no matter where you are. And that's not all. Sloman's is going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you're getting an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 armed doors, and a backup battery. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 listeners to call 1-833-283-5050, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. So call Sloman's right now for this limited time offer. 1-833-283-5050. 1-833-283-5050. 1-833-283-5050.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside.
That quick jerk, my microphone cord almost knocked over my tall cup of coffee. I was like, whoa, I grabbed it just in time.
kids with exclusive events just for our group. Fine dining together every night, cocktail parties, shore excursions, onboard activities, and a whole lot more. On the line is Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. Ian, why should listeners book right now?
I cannot group space during COVID, during the height of the pandemic, so we've got some incredible deals.
Call Ian right now and lock in your cabin. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. Join us as we celebrate our president, Donald Trump. Make your reservation right now. 561-244-5779. No little stowaways allowed.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. The Steve Kane Show is up.
Yes. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. You know, I was listening to my recorded commercial for Sloman's with the doorbell camera. Call Sloman's. I'm going to give the number to you in just a moment, and they'll tell you how you can get a free doorbell camera. I have one, and it's amazing. And I like it for a number of reasons. One, if there's solicitors at my door, I can just look at the camera and see who's there. And by the way, on my iPhone or iPad, I can see my front door from anywhere. Right now, here at the radio station, out at a restaurant. And by the way, you get notified. So when we're on the cruise, hanging out with you guys in Puerto Rico, I can pull up my door and look and see who's out there, even answer and talk to someone at the door. But what I like it mostly for is, of course, there's a security aspect, and you have an alarm, and it's connected to that. You can alert authorities. But, you know, we have Amazon and DoorDash coming to the house all the time. We do the Instacart for the groceries. And it's nice when they come to the door, you get a notification. You can look out in high definition, see who's there. You know, if you're stuck in the bathroom, you can look. Everybody has their phone in the bathroom. It's really amazing. So, yeah, I know. I love it. I love it. Call them. Find out how you can get a free doorbell camera. Here's the number, 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. All right, it's Friday. That means open phones, open MAGA Mike Friday. Anything and everything you have on your mind is fair game on the program on Friday, not just limited to topics that I bring up or Steve brings up. All right, let's go. 1-888-465-2631. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jay, Virginia.
Jay in Virginia. What's up?
Yeah, man, I've been a commercial diver for like 30 years, worked in the North Sea, around that pipeline many times. That was not done by surface.
Oh, hold on a second. Okay. Just let me fill in. What I think you're talking about is the explosions on the Nord Stream pipelines in the North Sea coming from Russia to Northern Europe. I'm sorry, in the Baltic Sea. Is that what you're talking about?
Roger that.
Okay. So, yeah, there were two explosions underwater. These pipes are thick steel, and then they're encased in concrete. To me, it looks like a military demolitions expert underwater team did it.
Yeah, that's true. It could have been, but it wasn't done from the surface. It would have took way too much time. Too much time. They would have been spotted. It had to have been from a submarine. The depth was a 220 foot. That puts you out of the airframe. That puts you in mixed gas.
Really? Oh, slow down. See, I'm getting information I did not know about. The pipe was over 200 feet deep, which is too deep for divers?
Too deep for air.
Wow.
Well, they were scuba. Yeah.
So it would take a submarine? You would have to have a submarine to do that?
A Virginia-class submarine could do it without being spotted. Anything on the surface, dive support vessels with SAT systems on it, would have been seen immediately.
So it has to be a military operation. So the question is, who's military then? Who's Navy? The United States? Russia? Who?
Well, I grew up in Virginia Beach. Started diving when I was a kid, worked side by side, SEAL teams. To be honest with you, the U.S. Navy are very, very safety conscious. It has to be somebody willing to take a big risk, and you have to not be seen. And where it's at, as far away from land as it is, you have to have a major DSB come in there. It would take.
Well, could they just do it with a torpedo?
Well, I mean, yeah, they could, but I everybody would see it coming. This was something that was set there and left there.
Wow.
It wasn't something done from the surface. They're not going to find any boat hovering over top of this pipeline. It was done underwater.
Completely. So it wasn't like a surface vessel that dropped like a small submersible submarine and went down there and did it. You're telling me it was a military naval submarine that did it.
Even if they used ROVs, it would be just as much time as it would take the diver to do it, if not more. It would have been seen on the surface.
Wow.
The way they could have done this, lock the divers out in the sub, pressurize them to 220, let them go, or a drone.
Yeah.
Going to do it without being seen.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about Greenpeace activists. This is too complex for them.
Oh, way past them. Way past them. There might be 10 people in the world that can pull this.
Now, so far as an underwater drone at this depth, is this something that a regular person could have, or would this have to be government too?
I'm not sure what's on the open market as far as that. The government, I mean, if it is, it's going to be expensive.
Wow.
There might be half a dozen in the world that could do it, but it has to be done underwater. They'd have seen it. Just to set the boat up on dynamic positioning takes 6 hours before you can say, okay, you can get in the water.
Yeah.
Underwater.
Yeah, and what are the temperatures that deep in the Baltic Sea this time of year? It's got to be freezing.
Yeah, I've lost hot water down there, and within 30 seconds you froze.
Wow. So this is definitely a high level military government operation. It's just a matter of whose government did it.
That's right. Nope.
Wow. Well, thank you for the information. I appreciate it.
All right, no problem, man. Take care.
All right, take care. Yeah, well, thank you. You know, before the internet, we were doing this. This is the longest running radio show in the state of Florida, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, before there was an internet. And before there was Google, we would just go to the audience. And, you know, it's amazing the knowledge of people out there in the radio audience. That was some very interesting information that I haven't seen any deep diving. You know, they got all these Navy SEALs that host shows over on Fox News Channel. I haven't heard any type of discussion or expert analysis of the Nord Stream explosions like with that caller right there. Have you? Wow, interesting. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Greg for DeSantis.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, listen, you corrected Richie on the pronunciation of Kissimmee, but also, for your record, it's Collier, not Collier.
Whatever. Okay. You got me. You got me, Greg. You got me. Oh, my goodness. He got me. I'm busted. Oh, my goodness. How did I ever get on the radio? All right.
Richie, you're a Floridian. You don't know how to pronounce Kissimmee?
Kissimmee's a little bit better than Collier County. But anyway, what you say Collier, I say Collier.
Collier. There's no other.
Okay, Greg. Hey, listen. If that gets you through your day, run with that.
No, I'm just trying to make you sound more intelligent.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Well, you've done that. Now, if you could make yourself sound more intelligent, then you'd really have done something.
Oh, so you just insulted me. That's fine. I just corrected your pronunciation. You got to.
So, what's the reason for your call? Was it that?
What has the great Donald Trump, who I voted for twice, but what has he done as far as any leadership as a Floridian, which he doesn't really live in Florida, let's be honest. He spends most of his time in Jersey and New York City.
No, he's at Mar-a-Lago right now, and he was at Mar-a-Lago through the hurricane.
Most of his time is spent up north. Be real. I mean, he's up in New Jersey more than he is in Florida. Trust me on that one. He gets tax benefits, obviously, from our great Florida taxes, lack thereof. But here's my question. Where is he on his leadership as far as this hurricane? Have you heard him even come out? He's going to do what? A public, one of his rallies up in another state while we are suffering down here?
Oh, you're suffering? Tell me about your suffering.
Suffering? I have friends that live on the...
Oh, you have friends. We all have friends. What you said while we are all suffering. Tell me of your suffering in the aftermath of Hurricane Ian that you want Donald Trump, who you claim to support, give relief from.
Because I have friends that are...
Oh, because you have friends. What are you doing for your friends?
I offered them to come over, but
You offered to come over, and they didn't, so nothing. So you've done nothing. You've done nothing. So you've done nothing for your friends.
I've offered...
Look, you offered, and they turned it down, so that means you've done nothing.
But no, I did something.
What did you do?
Something, you've done something.
If you've offered... I gave money. My wife donated money. We donated money to the fund that Casey DeSantis set up. I don't know. I don't know.
How much? You and your wife don't even talk?
No, we don't talk, Greg. But I did more. I don't know how much my wife donated in our name, but that's more than you have done. You've done nothing.
No, what I'm saying is you said you donated, and you're like, oh, you did.
No, I don't know. My wife handles the money. I don't know. She told me that she donated to the Casey DeSantis fund.
You gotta grow a pair.
I gotta grow a pair. I know. I gotta grow a pair. So what have you done? So what have you done? Nothing. You've done nothing. You want Donald Trump to do something. You've done nothing.
Donald Trump is the leader of...
Of what?
Not what I'm saying is, what has he done?
Well, I would imagine... Well, he gave us Ron DeSantis as our governor. Could you imagine if we had Andrew Gillum? And one thing about President Trump, he is very charitable. And I imagine if he has not done it already, he will give financial aid to that Casey DeSantis fund. In the very least. But getting back to the more interesting portion, you've done nothing. You've done nothing. No, I have done something. Not only have we donated money, Greg. Not only have we donated money, I am promoting it here on the radio, encouraging others to do so. You've done nothing.
I told you what I did. I did what I could.
No, you could do more.
I didn't even know before your show. I didn't even know DeSantis had a fund.
Yeah.
Into it.
Now you'll look into it because of me. So I've still done. If you do that, you've only done it because of me. So what if you? I'm not. So nothing. All right. There you go. Thanks for the call. Do nothing, Greg. He's done nothing for our fellow Floridians. Oh my goodness. Done nothing. Callers on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break for the top of the hour. Oh man, my name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show, on the radio since 1977. Oh man, don't forget, go to mypillow.com, use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, save up to 66% off. You know the MyPillow pet beds? I have 2 of these. They're 50% off with the promo code Kane. That's right, 50% off when you use the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, at mypillow.com. My dog, my cat, they love them. Yours will too. You can also order by phone toll-free, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879, 50% off the MyPillow pet beds when you use our promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at checkout at mypillow.com. All right, we'll be back right after this. 50% off the MyPillow pet beds when you use our promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at checkout at mypillow.com. All right, we'll be back right after this.
The new Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 is here. Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music. WWNN Pompano Beach, a VCMG live radio station. From the Tweery's Rare Coins and Jewelry Weather Center. Tweery's, the most trusted dealer in rare coins, fine jewelry, precious metals, and more since 1982. Here's the Oldies weather forecast.
Good morning, South Florida. Temperatures right now are actually in the 60s and the lower 70s. A nice cool start to your morning. Temperatures later today will be reaching the mid to upper 80s with low humidity at times. And then over the weekend, dry conditions. Temperatures a little bit hotter in the mid to upper 80s.
That was brutal.
Those in the 60s and the lower 70s. I'm First Warning Meteorologist.
Follow Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 on social media. See what's happening in the community, have a laugh with some funny memes, and keep in touch with other good time Oldies lovers. Facebook
Do nothing, Greg, yeah.
Oldies South Florida. True Oldies.
Oh my goodness.
Traffic check.
We're looking good so far with the Palm Beach commute. I-95 and the Turnpike remain crash-free, moving up to speed from Boca Raton to Jupiter.
Oh my goodness.
West Palm Southern Boulevard eastbound and Congress Avenue has 2 left lanes blocked, and there's also a disabled vehicle blocking your right shoulder on 95 heading northbound passing Yamato Road now. More volume on Southern Boulevard eastbound coming out of the acreage. The service routes are incident-free at this time. We're also seeing more volume on John and southbound between Losh Lake.
I got to check. I don't have the link to it.
Broward County is incident-free. Just some light.
I don't want to give out the wrong link.
Beach into Boca. This report is sponsored by Compassion International. Drought, war, and rising food prices have doubled the number of families facing malnutrition.
Because there's a lot of fake stuff going on.
Food kit to feed a family for a month. Just text the word radio to 97646. That's traffic. I'm Chris Barr.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News update.
ABC News now, Lionel Moise. The clock is ticking on another government shutdown. The Senate did it yesterday, and the House is expected to pass the same bill that prevents a government shutdown later today.
I just texted my wife for the link, but I don't know if she's up yet.
Recovering from major natural disasters this year. The funding to help with Hurricane Ian damage is still to come. Again, this is a temporary spending band-aid. Lame duck Congress must come back and do it all over again just before Christmas. ABC's Andy Field. As cleanup begins from Hurricane Ian, so does the realization of how much it will cost. ABC's Andrew Fuji.
It's not just homes and businesses. Florida produces 70% of citrus, like oranges and grapefruit. So depending on the damage to
I got it.
experts warn that fruit and juice prices may rise. Good news, economists do not expect the price of oil and gas to rise, as Florida is not an energy producer.
This is ABC News.
Festivals, football, flannels. Some say fall is their favorite time of year. And this fall, there are now updated COVID-19 booster shots designed to help protect against COVID-19 variants. If you've had your primary series, schedule an updated COVID-19 booster shot appointment as soon as you're eligible. And don't forget to enjoy the foliage. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Opinions are like apples. Everyone's got one. Get yours in The Steve Kane Show.
Yes, I think we proved that to be true, that rejoin, with many of the calls we take. Oh my goodness. Welcome back, everyone. It's the 7 o'clock hour. It's 3 minutes after 7. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. It is open phones on Friday. Anything and everything you have on your mind is fair game. You are not limited to topics and subjects that Steve or myself bring up. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday, 888-465-2631. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian.
Good morning.
Wisconsin.
Oh, hey, Rome, Wisconsin. How you doing?
Oh, doing good, except for that last call from Greg. He calls himself Greg for DeSantis, but didn't know that there was a fund that he could donate to.
Yeah, and not only that, he tells us he's a big time lawyer. Whatever my wife donated from us, I'm sure is a big time lawyer in private practice that he brags about. He can afford to write out a big check to that Casey DeSantis fund, bigger than what I could afford.
Yeah. Greg is just full of hot air. He likes to hear himself talk.
Mm-hmm.
So before I ask my question why I'm calling in, I have to tell you that the caller that was before Greg.
Oh, the diver.
Yes, very, very great information and very interesting. Treasure Life, who's in our chat, was saying that he's an underwater salvage guy for both historical and modern shipwrecks.
Mm-hmm.
He says that the caller was right on, and that they use ROVs, and they are really advanced these days. So it was just really cool to be hearing this caller, tell us all this information, and then we got somebody in the chat saying, "Yep, this is true."
Well, this Nord Stream, or as Jean-Pierre says, the Nordstrom. She did say that. She speaks for the Nord Stream pipeline. If you notice, that's a natural disaster that the media have just totally abandoned. That's the first time I've seen a natural disaster that they didn't want to cover.
Not in the news at all. Yeah. So I have a question. I don't know if the Insider is really a good source of information, but the Insider is reporting that Margie Taylor Greene's husband has filed for divorce.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. apparently, I don't know why he did it a month away from the election, but they've been split really for years, and all the stories show these two very strange guys she's been with that she met at the gym. And I don't know if that's true or not. But, I agree with the Democrats and what they said involving Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky back during that affair, that this is her private life and it has nothing to do with her job as a United States Congresswoman. So the Democrats said that this is between a husband and a wife with the Clintons, the Lewinsky affair. So this is between a husband and a wife and has nothing to do with her performance as a member of Congress, right? That's what the Democrats said.
She's a great member. She's a great member of Congress. I was just sad to see that article, and I'm even sadder to hear it's true. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene is just the greatest, and we need her, and hope she sticks around. And
oh yeah, she's awesome. And it's unfortunate she won't be joined by Sarah Palin, but she's awesome. And I just, if you see the two guys that she's been with, that she's kind of had like relationship with, that they claim, they are weirdos. I don't know if it's true about these two particular guys, but I've heard this before. This is the divorce is new because he filed, and they both said complimentary things to one another. From my understanding, they've been split for 5 or 10 years.
oh gosh, I did not realize that. The article said that they were married for 27 years.
Yeah, but they were married, but kind of doing their own thing. Yeah.
On their own. Oh, okay. Well, okay. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thanks, Rom. I appreciate it. All right. Good morning. All right. Have a good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning. It's Rick from Independence, Florida.
Hey, where's Independence, Florida?
It's just a little north of a little Magic Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Trevor Noah is leaving The Daily Show.
Yes, I know. Yeah. I've never watched it with him. I've never watched it.
Well, no, you're not missing much.
You know, I'll tell you this. I did see, though, I watched him on The Daily Show once when he came in with Jon Stewart, when Jon Stewart was, who was fired, and I believe Trevor Noah was too. It's a big money job you don't just walk away from. But I saw him on there once, and I think it was Jon Stewart. He was kind of like a guest, and I didn't like the idea at all. He's South African, and he was attacking our country, calling it racist, etc., etc. And I don't really like the idea of having a South African on television on a political show telling us how we should be running our country. I find that I've always thought that was a bizarre choice.
Yeah, he identified as an American, man who was of African American origin who is now here, and he couldn't believe with all the racism and all the stuff in our.
Oh yeah, well he obviously has blocked out apartheid in South Africa.
Oh, that. Exactly.
If they were, he wouldn't take the job, but if they would hire like a Greg Gutfeld type to replace him, that would be interesting. If they would hire someone that had a conservative viewpoint, that would make the show controversial and interesting, as opposed to some other boring liberal who's going to come on and say, conservatives are racist, yay! That's not even clever anymore. I mean, that it's boring.
Clownish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, to me I know that's a big news story about Trevor Noah, but so what? And he'll be worse than Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart's so washed up after he got fired from The Daily Show. Jon Stewart was making $20 million a year. No one could convince, and he did not walk away from that. There's no way he walked away from that show, Jon Stewart.
No, I mean Gutfeld right now has got it. He's got the #1 spot.
Well, Gutfeld, and I mean this, it took a while for me to like him. He had to grow on me. I didn't like him too much in the beginning. And I just recently started watching his late night. I'm a big fan of Gutfeld now, and I have been for a while. But I DVR his nighttime show, and I watch it once or twice a week, on recording. For him to beat out, like Stephen Colbert and these broadcast network shows, he deserves an Emmy for that. That is something considered impossible to do when not only is he on cable, not the networks, but he's on a very partisan cable channel, Fox News, in the view of people that watch such things, and he's beating out these shows on NBC, ABC, CBS. That's something people said could not be done, and he does it regularly.
Be done. You're exactly right. It could not be done because of the way that the networks, and you understand ratings and all that, and the advertisement and all that. It's amazing. I mean, but he brought the political things, and with a side of it that you have to laugh at it. You have to understand what he's talking about, but he shows also all.
No, he's very good. The only critique I would give him is Kat, I think, does not like being made fun of like he does about her weight and all this all the time. Because I don't think she enjoys it, and I believe Kat has an eating disorder, like Karen Carpenter or something. She's too thin. She's very funny and talented. I've seen her do stand-up on that show once. She's very good. I enjoy her analysis, but when he takes those jabs at her, I can see it in her face. She's faking it. She does not like it, and no, that's just my thought.
You know, like that 10 pounds to everybody or 20 pounds now, and HD didn't help anybody, but you understand that.
I know. I get, on YouTube, I meet listeners all the time, and they're like, you're so much thinner in person than you are on YouTube. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. So you thought I was fat? I mean, it's true. Even YouTube adds weight.
The woman that was at the Starbucks in front of you?
Oh, you saw that on YouTube? Yeah. I'll tell people what happened. I get to Starbucks before they open, and I always hang back because they have a camera on the drive-thru and they can see you. And also, I don't like to pressure them to open early to serve me. So I sit back waiting for the drive-thru to open off camera. A lady comes up to me and tells me to drive forward like 5-10 minutes before they open, and she was ticked.
And walked up to you?
Yeah, she got up to her vehicle and walked up to me. I had my window down because it's a beautiful morning. It's chilly. It's like 68 or something. And she came up to my window, caught me off guard, and I told her I'll pull up in a minute when they open, and she started doing this, this, how sometimes, you know what I mean. She was upset.
But if she would have pulled in front of you, you'd be like, help yourself. That's that important. Go get your...
Yeah, I was expecting her to pull in front of me. I thought she was. Hey, listen, I got to run for the break, but take care. All right, see, if you watch me on YouTube, you get the behind the scenes. All right, we'll be right back after this. Pull in front of me. I thought she was. Hey, listen, I got to run for the break, but take care. All right, see, if you watch me on YouTube, you get the behind the scenes. All right, we'll be right back after this.
Wake up and smell the truth. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Morning 6 to 9 on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
Florida Luxury Cabinets is your local cabinet showroom right in Boca Raton, specializing in custom cabinets and countertops, providing luxury design and installation, each style embodying a distinct character and a vibe that's unique to your personality and style. Stop to our showroom at Florida Luxury Cabinets for your free consultation. Florida Luxury Cabinets, 2621 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. Call 561-646-8560. That's 561-646-8560.
Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire in Margate on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire. That's out the door and on the road because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
Eagle Eye Protection Services for all your firearm and security patrol service needs. Receive personal firearms training, including concealed carry for you, your friends, your neighbors, by professional instructor owner Mike Bronner. G licensed security classes offered every week. For firearm and security patrol service needs, it's Eagle Eye Protection
My laptop.
Services. Protect yourself, your family, your business. Call 561-723-6191. Eagle Eye, your local security protection services.
This segment of the Steve Kane Show is brought to you by I Will Advisors. Seniors, medical open enrollment is approaching. Do you know what Medicare options are available to you? Call Debbie at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080, and she will answer all your Medicare questions. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
The Steve Kane 2023 MAGA Cruise is right around the corner. We leave January 28th on the Celebrity Apex out of Fort Lauderdale. First stop, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Then Tortola in the British Virgin Islands. And then St. Kitts. With exclusive events just for our group. Fine dining together every night. Cocktail parties, shore excursions, onboard activities, and a whole lot more. On the line is Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. Ian, why should listeners book right now?
I blocked this group space during COVID, during the height of the pandemic, so we got some incredible deals.
Call Ian right now and lock in your cabin. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. Join us as we celebrate our president, Donald Trump. Make your reservation right now. 561-244-5779. No liberal stowaways allowed.
Ready to get fired up? Just 60 seconds and you'll be racing for the phone. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
All right. Yes. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. Callers on hold, stand by. I got a question for you. Are you in pain? Are you in pain? I used to be until 3 weeks ago. And I went and met with Dr. Philip Appleton, and he treated me with his laser away pain system for my knee, and now I am pain-free, and you can be too. That's right. If you're still in pain, that means you haven't gone to see Dr. Appleton yet. You know, his laser away pain system works with more than just knee pain, any joint, elbow, wrist, neck, hip, right? Hands, fingers, anywhere there's a joint, it helps. But not just joint pain, arthritis, bursitis, lumbar pain, muscular contraction, sciatica, strains and sprains. There's a long list. If you're in pain, Dr. Appleton can help. And get this, he's open 6 days a week. That means Saturdays as well. No appointment necessary. Walk-ins are welcome. Because Dr. Appleton knows that when you're in pain, you need relief. You need it now. There's no drugs, no injections, completely painless, no surgery, no downtime, and it works. I'm going to give you the number. Now, when you call, make sure you say that you heard about Dr. Appleton on the radio so you can take advantage of the no-charge consultation. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonCairo.com. And say bye-bye to your pain. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Lisa from Trumpster's Tuesday Therapy.
I'm sorry, it's Lisa from where? You cut out on me.
Trumpster's Tuesday Therapy.
Oh, okay. How you doing?
I'm good. I just wanted to tell you we showed my son Hunter for the second time.
Oh, great.
And you said you wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, what was their reaction?
Everybody seemed to like it. But then a lot of people didn't. They found it, I don't know, I personally found it a little hokey, the way they portrayed it. I mean, I guess they were trying to be a little funny or light with it because I thought it would be way more salacious, a little more dirty, but it wasn't.
Well, it's made by conservatives. So it's hard, they don't want to they wanted to make it for all audiences.
Yeah, I get that. I guess I thought that they didn't dive deep enough for me personally. Well,
listen, Robert Davi, who directed it, he's a very good actor. He was in Die Hard and a bunch of other stuff. Listen, my son Hunter is not an Academy Award-winning masterpiece. And there's some things that they did. I'll tell you one thing they did right in the beginning that I thought was a terrible, terrible mistake. They showed Biden, it begins with Biden swimming in the swimming pool in front of the female Secret Service agent. What they did in that kind of explains, Biden, the thing with Biden in the swimming pool with the female Secret Service agents is he would swim naked in the pool in front of the female Secret Service agents. And in My Son Hunter, he's wearing swim trunks. He should have been naked. Exactly.
So that, for me, it wasn't realistic enough But I guess for the normies out there, when this is just scratching the surface, they're going to, when the laptop really comes out, people are going to be blown away.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they really showed what the Bidens were like, it would be X-rated.
Exactly. And yeah, and him just being with that one hooker and almost feeling like he's in love with her. To me, it's like that he should have been surrounded by 5 hookers at a time. It was,
well, I did like how they showed the they told the story through one of Hunter Biden's prostitutes, which I thought was an interesting. There was one other mistake they made when Hunter goes to the strip club, and then the woman that runs the strip club comes in and she starts talking about her preferred pronouns. Back in 2018, people weren't talking about preferred pronouns. What happened? Let me tell you what happened with that. Okay, you had, and that kind of took me out of the escape. Being wearing swimming trunks too, and the pool did too. But what you have is you have a very good professional actor who is not a professional filmmaker making a movie, and they were trying to put too much agenda in. Like when they cut away and went to that Black Lives Matter Antifa protest, it was out of the blue. It didn't even fit, There were some. It's not the greatest movie ever made. Okay, I get that, but it's still something people should see.
I'm telling you, I could fill another 100 again, but we're not doing it because I don't know if I could sit through it for the session.
Yeah. Well, what I would have done is, instead of trying to fit everything these guys have ever done, I would have focused in on 1 or 2 of the big deals. I would have focused in either on Ukraine or China. I would have focused in on one really scummy deal. That's what I would have done, instead of trying to get everything that these guys have ever done back to Nixon into the movie. But let me tell you why it's important to support it. There's a new crop of conservative filmmakers out there, okay? And that movie's a little low budget and everything else. If it gets our support, the next movies that are made will have a higher budget if they know there's a market for it. So it's important to support these conservative movies so there'll be more of them in the future. I mean, if you go back, are you a Christian? Okay, do you remember the Left Behind movies? No. Oh, yeah, if you go back to the Kirk Cameron Left Behind movies, those were so low budget, and not the greatest movies, but it was important to support Christian filmmakers. So, and then what happened? The Passion of the Christ came, which was a masterpiece. So it's you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So, all right, appreciate the call. Thank you. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
And, I'm hoping, you said something yesterday, and I'm hoping that that's not going to happen, and that a lot of people now are going to say, I'm not going to Florida. They're going to rebuild, and it's going to get wiped out again. I'm hoping people realize that it was, like they said, one storm in 500 years, maybe. And so everybody's got to understand that, we have hurricanes, and they'll rebuild, and this time maybe they'll build everything up a little higher, and there won't be ever, not that there'll never be a hurricane, but there'll be hurricanes that will be able to withstand it. One of the things that got me is you saw that one building, that house that was knocked down, but yet right across the next house over, they had a brand new house up there with the tile for the roof sitting on the top, not installed yet. They didn't blow off.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Well, a lot of the damage done by hurricanes is actually done by tornadoes that come in through a street and do damage. And tornadoes, they'll take this house and not that house. So I don't know if that's what happened there, but I know I saw some of that. Yeah, this is a devastating tornado. I mean, it looks like they drop nuclear bombs over there, but hurricanes are not as bad as people think. I mean, I know, how can you say that after Ian? This is very unusual. We only get a major hurricane every 10 to 12 years, a major one. Most of them are pretty easy. A Category 1 is nothing, and this one was the 4th strongest hurricane to ever hit Florida, at least on record. So it's an unusual thing.
Everybody's got to relax a little, because I've been through 4 hurricanes here, and I never had any problem. I was out of electricity for a little while, but that was it. I mean, a little damage.
Well, it's easy for us to say over here on the on this coast where we didn't get the hurricane, and and this one was. Thanks for the call. This one was hard for me because I was talking yesterday like survivor's guilt, and I was realizing yesterday I had nothing to do. Usually when there's a hurricane, I'm putting my shutters up, I'm getting the house ready, I'm loading up on supplies, and I did buy gas for my generator just to be safe, which I'm going to start putting in the cars over the weekend. I won't be buying any gas for a while, but because I got plenty in my thing. But I think because I wasn't busy during this hurricane like I normally am before and after, I just feel like, I don't know, it's just a rough one. All right, listen, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. Steve will be joining us. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Open phones on Friday. Open MAGA Mike Friday. 1-888-GO. Kane 1 is our number. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. I'm Brian Craig. Open phones on Friday. Open MAGA Mike Friday. 1-888-GO. Kane 1 is our number. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. I'll be right back, guys.
Bringing the heat to your radio every morning. It's the Steve Kane Show on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning at 10 a.m. From the Tweery's Rare Coins and Jewelry Weather Center. Tweery's, the most trusted dealer in rare coins, fine jewelry, precious metals, and more since 1982. Here's the Oldies weather forecast.
Good morning, South Florida. Temperatures right now are actually in the 60s and the lower 70s. A nice cool start to your morning. Temperatures later today will be reaching the mid to upper 80s with low humidity at times. And then over the weekend, dry conditions. Temperatures a little bit hotter in the mid to upper 80s and morning lows in the 60s and the lower 70s. I'm First Warning Meteorologist Vanessa Bernard from WPBF 25 Meters.
Follow Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 on social media. See what's happening in the community, have a laugh with some funny memes, and keep in touch with other good time Oldies lovers. Facebook and Instagram at Oldies South Florida. True Oldies. Traffic check.
We're looking good so far for the Palm Beach commute. I-95 on the Turnpike remain crash-free, moving up to speed from Boca Raton to Jupiter. Ongoing construction in West Palm. Southern Boulevard eastbound at Congress Avenue has 2 left lanes blocked, and there's also a disabled vehicle blocking your right shoulder on 95 heading northbound passing Yamato Road now. More volume on Southern Boulevard eastbound coming out of the acreage. The service chutes are incident-free at this time. We're also seeing more volume on Jog Road north and southbound between La Chalet Boulevard and Hyperluxo. Broward County is incident-free. Just some light volume now on 95 heading northbound from Deerfield Beach into Boca. This report is sponsored by Compassion International. Drought, war, and rising food prices have doubled the number of families facing malnutrition. You can help. $50 provides a food kit to feed a family for a month. Just text the word radio to 97646. That's traffic. I'm Chris Barr.
Brian Craig here. How would you like a free doorbell camera? That's right, a free doorbell camera. I have one and you will love one. The first 40 listeners who call 1-833-283-5050 will get a free doorbell camera that connects with your cell phone with the installation of your Sloman Shield. You can see your home right from the palm of your hands no matter where you are. And that's not all. Sloman's is going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you're getting an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 arm doors, and a backup battery. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 listeners to call 1-833-283-5050, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. So call Sloman's right now for this limited time offer. 1-833-283-5050. 1-833-283-5050. 1-833-283-5050. Brian Craig here. I've suffered with massive pain in my knee for years, but not anymore. It's all gone, thanks to Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain system. I'm in studio right now with Dr. Appleton. Dr. Appleton, how'd you do it?
Well, I treated your knee pain with laser. Treatment is simple and no side effect. I have robotic lasers that have a wonderful effect on joint pain. These are all FDA approved.
Now, you don't just help with knees. Tell the listeners what other areas you can help them with.
Any joint I can do. Shoulder pain, hip pain, sciatica, stenosis, arthritis, tendonitis, bursitis, from the foot all the way up to the neck.
Dr. Appleton is a chiropractic physician, and with the laser away pain system, there's no injections, no surgery, and no drugs. He's open 6 days a week, and same-day appointments are available. Call right now for your free consultation. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And make sure to tell Dr. Appleton you heard about him on the radio.
This segment of the Steve Kane Show is brought to you by I Will Advisors. Seniors, medical open enrollment is approaching. Do you know what Medicare options are available to you? Call Debbie at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080, and she will answer all your Medicare questions. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
An honest auto mechanic. You probably don't think they exist, but one does. Eddie at Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your vehicle that your vehicle doesn't need. He works on all makes and models, new, old, classic cars, even hybrids. Champagne Automotive Repair is the official mechanic of the Steve Kane Show. Call 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. And make sure you tell him you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show.
If you have rare coins, diamonds, gold, silver, and watches to sell, and you're looking for a fair price, look no further than Tweary's Rare Coins and Jewelry. Tweary's is family owned and operated and have been in business for over 40 years serving South Florida. Tweary's pays you a great price for your valuable items. Call 561-649-COIN, 561-649-2646, or go to TWERYS.com for Tweary's Rare Coins and Jewelry.
Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel older. This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about my anti-aging doctor, Dr. Mitch Matez at the Biostation West Del Rey, and hormone replacement pellet therapy. Hormone replacement pellet therapy is all natural. What it does is restore your hormones to where they were when you were in your 20s. You'll feel younger, you'll have more energy, you'll get your sex drive back, and women, hormone replacement pellet therapy completely stops and reverses all the signs and symptoms of menopause. Mood swings, gone. Night sweats, gone. I've met listeners before and after hormone replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Matez, and when I first meet them, they're like Joe Biden, and no one wants to be like him. And then I meet them again after they began hormone replacement pellet therapy, and they have their energy back, just like Trump. They're standing up tall, and they feel years younger. Now, it's always a free consultation with Dr. Matez when you tell him you heard about him on the radio. 561-320-8893. 561-320-8893.
And in your face, the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
Yes, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, when Star Wars was in theaters during its original theatrical release. I was in kindergarten. And that's right, 45 years on the radio, the Steve Kane Show. And it is open phones on Friday. We've had some great calls so far. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. Anything and everything you have on your mind is fair game at 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. Steve joining us. Hey, Steve.
Friday and the weekend and all that good stuff. Any word on Donald Trump, whether he's go through with his planned appearance?
Saturday night, Michigan. Trump rally. The Democrats have brought something back that I didn't, it's something before my time, but the Democrats have brought something back that I thought was gone. The Nuremberg laws. I'm not joking. This is a frightening story, and this is what the Democrats are all about. It is courtesy of the Jewish Journal, online at jewishjournal.com. Berkeley is kind of like the educational center of the American left, right, out there in California. Berkeley has developed, I'm not making this up, this is as serious as Coolio's heart attack, okay? Berkeley has developed 9 Jewish free zones. Listen to this. The Jewish Journal, jewishjournal.com. 9 different law student groups at the University of California at Berkeley School of Law have begun this new academic year by amending bylaws to ensure that they will never invite speakers that support Israel or Zionism. These are not groups that represent only a small percentage of the student population. They include Women of Berkeley Law, Asia Pacific American Law Students Association, Middle Eastern and North African Law Students Association, Law Students of African Descent, and the Queer Caucus. Berkeley Law the Queer Caucus. C-A-U-C-U-S. C-A-U-C-U-S. That's what I said, Steve. Berkeley's law dean, a progressive Zionist, has observed that he himself is banned under this standard, as would 90% of his Jewish students. So they have 10% that don't support Israel that are Jews. It's now a century since Jewish-free zones first spread to the San Francisco Bay Area. They used to, 100 years ago, have signs up in San Francisco that said, "No dogs, no Jews." Berkeley law students are not the first to exclude Jews. At the State University of New York, activists drove sexual assault victims out of a sexual assault victim survivor group for being Zionist. That's a Jew who supports Israel's right to exist. At the University of Southern California, they drove Jewish student government's vice president out of office, threatening to impeach her. Zionist A, they said. And I'm not going to say the word. At Tufts University, they tried to get rid of a student committee member because he supported Israel. So 9 Jewish-free zones at the University of California's Berkeley School of Law as classes resume this new semester. I mean, this is not funny. It is sick. It is twisted. And you know what? The media will have a complete blackout on this because they don't want to show their where they should be going to Skinny Pants Newsom over this. You know, I mean, yeah. No, it's true. It's true. And when I first saw that story, I'm like, this can't be true. There's no way. And then I saw the source. It's the Jewish Journal. And where's the Southern Poverty Law? Where is Biden? No. And the article is written by someone who long ago went to school there and is just in shock over it and wrote about it in the Jewish Journal. But this is Steve. No, it's the dean of. It just happened. This just happened. There's no quotes. There's no development. This just broke, and even the dean said, "Yeah, it's true, and it's okay." Even though he's a Jew. I mean, I know it's hard to believe. I know you don't want to accept it, but these are Democrats. These are liberals, and liberals are anti-Semites. You know, but we're the hate group, Steve. No, this is very hard to believe. That they have 9 organizations where they are saying at Berkeley, no Jews allowed unless you denounce Israel and Judaism. I mean, this is, I got to tell you, media bias is not giving you a left-wing view, like they cover the hurricane and call it climate change, and all that. That's bias. But media bias, most media bias, is in the stories that they choose not to report. And this story, let me tell you something, okay? I promise you the people in America's newsrooms know about this story. I found a link to the story on one of the conservative news sites that a few people go to, Breitbart. Linked up this story, and I've seen it on some others. So there is not a newsroom in America that, if they've not seen this story yet, they will see it today, and there's going to be a complete media blackout on it. And for those that think anti-Semitism no longer exists, it exists where there's liberals, and we have liberals at Berkeley, and they have 9 spaces where Jews are not allowed. It's just like at was it Arizona State or the University of Arizona, where they have non-white zones where white people are not allowed to go to, right? They call in the, I mean this. Yeah. Well, he's black, so he could go anywhere he wanted there. But your white kids, the liberals bring us everything that's bad, right? They bring us segregation. They brought it back, pretty bad. I wanted to. Well, let me wait till after the break to bring that up. But I want to give out the number. It's 1-888-GO-CANE-1, and I want to know where our Jews are in this audience. There was a time when there was an incident of anti-Semitism like this. Phones would be lit with Jews rightly upset, and I know a lot of people, even though they save up their whole lives and take loans to send their kids to Berkeley, until people stand up, until Jews stand up and say never again. All this endless discussion of how the Holocaust happened, this is how it happened, okay? This is how it happened. They banned Jews from 9 organizations at Berkeley just because they're Jews. And no one reports it, and no one talks about it, and there's no, that's just how liberals are, Chancellor Hitler, that's just how he is. That's how it happens, people.
To as well, since we're coming to the end of this. Did you have a chance to look up anything about that story that I mentioned when we spoke?
No, because I was going on the air when you told me, so I couldn't do it.
In our new book that we're in the process of writing about the Steve Kane Show, we're devoting a chapter to the self-destructive nature of liberalism, and I've been waiting for a story to break. The next story after the chapter on the Great Hurricane is how the Democrats and liberals self-destructed with the Great Hurricane of this year by trying to overcome the upcoming election by trying to blame it on those of us who realize that this climate shtick that they have.
Well, Steve, we're up against the break, and much more, and your calls 888-GO-CANE-1. My name's Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Not quite time for the break yet, Steve. We got to vamp for just a moment, okay? So you want to finish your thought while we're vamping?
Waiting for them to the liberals and the Democrats to try to blame the hurricane and the death and the loss of property and all this on
Yeah.
Seen anything about that along those lines? Because as of last night when I went to sleep, I'm looking for it and I haven't.
Yeah, well, it depends on what you're watching, but it's all over there. Okay, now it's time for the break. All right, let's check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys doing today?
All right, Barry. What do you have for us today?
Well, we all have things that we have a great deal of knowledge about, and there's some that we don't. For example, Steve Kane has been on the radio waves down here forever, knows more about radio and broadcasting than almost anyone. And then there are things that we don't know, and a lot of people don't realize that they can protect their assets from the biggest threat they have
Steve
against
Kane
long-term care, the cost of long-term care, and that's by qualifying for government benefits. And people, if they don't understand this, they're going to make the wrong decisions. They're going to get the wrong information either from friends or other professionals or from the internet. And this information could make a huge difference. The money that you have worked for your whole life and you've saved for your whole life, that was supposed to be for your retirement, to take care of you and your spouse during your lifetime, and if there's anything left to leave to your family, to leave a legacy, not to leave to the nursing home. And there are ways to protect yourself. The problem is people jump to conclusions, they get wrong information, thinking they have too much money, they have too much income, they can't qualify, and that could be one of the biggest mistakes that you can make.
Yeah, and Google is not a law firm, by the way, and people get a lot of misinformation there. Now listen, Attorney Barry Siegel, who has offices throughout South Florida in Broward, Palm Beach, and Dade County, he can also help you no matter where you are in the state of Florida, and it is always a free consultation with the Siegel Law Group. If you mention you heard about them on the radio and you've listened to Attorney Barry Siegel, join us here. The number is toll-free, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk next week.
Okay, have a great weekend.
All right, back after this. 3782 and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk next week.
Okay, have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.
All right, back after this.
Smarter than 95.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. Let's take a call or two, and then I've got some stuff I haven't touched on yet. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Brian. It's VW from Indiana.
Oh, VW in Indiana. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm really concerned, and I was in 2020 about...
Well, this is. Let me tell you, VW. This is what you do. And by the way, I got a call this morning that made a good point about here we are a month away from the election, and on the west coast of Florida, voting turnout is going to be very low in the aftermath of this hurricane, and that means it's even more important for you to get out and vote and not miss it on election day. Oh, by the way, before I forget, Steve, I mentioned this earlier, and we'll mention it again. Sunday at noon, you and I are going to go have lunch at Anne Marie's Pizza and Wine Company in Pompano. On the corner of Copans and US 1 Federal Highway on the west side of US 1 in the same plaza as the movie theater. And this is not an official personal appearance. Steve and I are just stopping in for lunch. And you all are invited to join us and stop by if you'd like to. And we look forward to seeing you there. I wanted to play this clip of AOC. This is AOC yesterday talking about abortion. All right, AOC.
Abortion is an economic issue. Forcing poor and working class people to give birth against their will, against their consent, against their ability to provide for themselves or a child is a profound economic issue, and it's certainly a way to keep a work
Steve Kane Show.
Basically conscripted to large-scale employers and to employers to work more against their will, to take second and third jobs against their desire and their own autonomy. And so the idea that abortion and access to abortion is somehow not a profound and central economic and class issue and class struggle is certainly something that I think a person who's never had to contend with the ability to carry a child, it belies that perspective.
Okay, she's never been pregnant. She's never had a child, so I don't know why she's rendering an opinion if you've had to have been pregnant to render an opinion on it. She's never been pregnant. Well, yeah.
Of course, you give birth to a child does not mean you have to support a child for the rest of your life.
Correct.
That's why they invented adoption.
Correct.
And we know a lot about adoption, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Loving homes, especially for newborns. Some people say, well, not everybody wants to adopt a child. There's a market out there, I don't like to use the word market, but that's what it is. The fact is there's no shortage of homes available for newborn children. And it's outrageous that she's just misleading the public.
Yeah, I mean, adoption's not even on AOC's radar. Steve's adopted 6 kids. My daughter's adopted. My mother's adopted. So we're very pro-adoption here, and that's right. This abortion overturning of Roe v. Wade is when you watch the liberal media. Oh my goodness, Steve, they are having meltdowns. I was watching this week. There's these. I like to watch when I'm not watching. I don't like to watch the news at night. Okay, when I'm going to bed, I like to watch relaxing shows like these FBI shows, these true crime shows, and things like this. And it's more calming than listening to Biden and Kamala, making talking about our alliance with North Korea and inviting dead people to take to the podium. But on CBS they have these FBI shows they have FBI and FBI's Most Wanted, and then there's another one that's no good. And I'm watching FBI Most Wanted, it's a scripted drama show out of liberal Hollywood. Listen to this storyline this week, Steve. This was so bizarre. A guy who works for the government, all right, he goes to work and a guy walks in and blows up the government office and kills the guy. And the man who blew up the office gets away. So they have the FBI Fugitive Task Force after him, led by Dermot McDermott or whatever. Dylan McDermott is his name, the actor. And then they find another victim of this mad man. Shot a man in cold blood and killed him at a bus stop. And they didn't know each other. They're trying to figure out what happened. So listen to this. Listen to this. You find out that the man who's doing the killing is actually a woman who suffers from multiple personality disorders. And she was raped by these 2 men. And what triggered her episode, this was in the state of Tennessee, these 2 men raped her together at a hotel. And she found out she was pregnant. And that's not what triggered her to go kill these men. They tracked her down. They tracked down that she had visited a healthcare facility in Atlanta, Georgia. So they get the doctor on from this clinic, and you find out it's a abortion clinic in Atlanta. And they find out she went from Tennessee to Atlanta for an abortion, right? Because in Tennessee, they have no exception for rape or incest. So this rape victim, she left Tennessee, impregnated by these rapists. She's on this killing spree, killing her rapist. She gets to Atlanta, and she can't get the abortion. She can't get the abortion. And the abortion doctor tells the FBI agents, we do have an exception for rape, but she didn't file a police report. And since she didn't have a police report, we could not perform the procedure. So she went on this killing spree, and her final stop was the abortion clinic itself. She's holding at the end, spoiler alert, okay? I'm telling you how the episode ended. She's holding the abortion doctor at gunpoint, demanding that she performs the abortion on her. And she won't do it. She won't do it at gunpoint. And the camera pulls back, and this woman that was impregnated, she's holding the abortion doctor hostage while she's in the stirrups, and she performed the abortion on herself. It was a little heavy-handed. They got everything in there, and my goodness, it was so bizarre. And at the end of the episode, they understood why she killed the 2 guys, because she couldn't get an abortion because Amy Coney Barrett overturned Roe v. Wade. I couldn't believe what I was watching. There's an article in Breitbart about this morning that's not as detailed as my recollection because I watched the episode. I couldn't believe it, Steve. These liberals, when it comes to abortion, it's like, I don't know, it's like a holy sacrament to these people. They're very, it's very, yeah. That was some of the most unclever, in-your-face, politicizing in a televised scripted drama that I have ever seen in my life. It's FBI's Most Wanted on CBS. If you want to watch the episode, it was this week's episode. I would recommend not, especially the final scene. I can't believe they put something so graphic on television. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. How you doing? This is Lewis here from Plantation.
Hey, Lewis.
How you been? Hey, listen, I know it's Open Subject Friday, right?
Well, we'll see how open. It sounds like we should be on alert when he says that in advance.
Basically, I just wanted to comment on something. First, I wonder, the latest on Mike Lindell, I wonder what's happening there. I haven't paid attention lately, but I'm just curious because I support the guy. The other thing is, this Berkeley thing is really, I woke up listening to your show and I'm like beside myself just going, what the hell is going on?
Well, you know, the Jewish free zones of Berkeley, it's so shocking. You can hear it in Steve's voice. You just don't want to believe it's true.
It's beyond, it's scary. And scary is an understatement. But another thing I want to...
Well, and I'll tell you what's scary about it is then they release press releases on it, bragging about it. And they have the dean of students who's Jewish who's saying, yes, and this is a great thing. It's sick.
Oh, wow. The Jewish community here, I hope they're listening to you and understand. Yeah. But real quick, I work in a place, I won't reveal it, I work with professionals who are educated, quote unquote, and I work, I'm an older person, I'm in my 50s. So I work with someone who's earlier in their career, and the other day in the office, he commented, we're talking about cops or something. I walked in, they happened to be talking, and he said something to the effect of, I hate cops. And I was looking at him like, you hate cops? I go, why would you hate cops? He goes, I hate them. And I'm like, well, that's a pretty ignorant statement. I'm like, how can you hate cops? Like, you can maybe hate somebody specifically for something that did you wrong, intentionally, but I'm like, he goes, they're just a bunch of, and I'm like, Jesus, man, where are we in society where you just say something like that and paint everybody with a brush like that?
It sounds like you may be working with someone who's had a run-in with the law.
Or who has criminals in their family.
Well, he's definitely a liberal. I mean, he can't stand anything MAGA or Trump, and he mentioned it, but...
he's a bigot.
Slow it down, man.
He's a bigot. Well, appreciate the call. He asked about Mike Lindell. What's going on with Mike Lindell is he's personally being sued for billions of dollars with a B. His company is being sued for billions of dollars. Separate from that, he was raided by the FBI, and he's suing the Justice Department. And this guy, he's dealing with oppression that mortal men, other than Donald Trump's not a mortal man, but out of the whole MAGA movement, the two most oppressed people, of course, number one is Donald Trump, and number two is Mike Lindell. And this FBI raid, I saw an animated reenactment of it, and it was much more hardcore than I realized listening to Mike Lindell talk about it. But MyPillow.com is the best way to support Mike Lindell in his efforts. Through all this canceling by the big companies, he's not laid off one employee, and he's been able to stay in business and keep the thousands who work for him employed because of people like you and this listening audience supporting MyPillow. And when you use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, you can save up to 66% off the items at MyPillow.com. $90 off the MyPillow slippers right now. There's an incredible special going on the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, the lowest price ever, and including the flannel sheets, which I have 2 sets of the flannels on this cold, chilly morning. So go to MyPillow.com, support Mike Lindell, and use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, and you're obviously supporting the Steve Kane Show at the same time with that. You can also order by phone, toll-free, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE, KANE. We'll be back after this. 716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE, KANE. We'll be back after this.
The new Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 is here. WWNN Pompano Beach, a VCMG live radio station. From the Tweery's Rare Coins and Jewelry Weather Center. Tweery's, the most trusted dealer in rare coins, fine jewelry, precious metals, and more since 1982. Here's the Oldies weather forecast.
Good morning, South Florida. Temperatures right now are actually in the 60s and the lower 70s. A nice cool start to your morning. Temperatures later today will be reaching the mid to upper 80s with low humidity at times. And then over the weekend,
free at 96.9 on social media. See what's happening in the community, have a laugh with some funny memes, and keep in touch with other good time oldies lovers. Facebook and Instagram at Oldies South Florida. True Oldies. Traffic check.
In the Palm Beaches, the major expressways are still crash-free at this time, but we're seeing slowdowns now on the Turnpike heading northbound approaching the Beeline Highway. I-95 northbound is also a little bit slower approaching Atlantic Avenue and Delray Beach. We're also seeing those usual stop and go delays now on 95 heading northbound from Deerfield Beach to Boca Raton. As for the service streets, we see a multi-vehicle crash on Boynton Beach Boulevard just east of Eau Claire Ranch Road. Also a crash in Palm Beach Gardens on Military Trail just south of Burns Road. This report is sponsored by Blindster. Want to save big on new blinds? Blindster.com offers custom-made blind shades and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Shop Blindster now and save 45% off any order. Just use the code RADIO. Offer ends soon. Shop today. Blindster.com. That's traffic. I'm Chris Barr.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News update.
ABC News now on Lionel Moyer. The clock is ticking on another government shutdown. The Senate did it yesterday, and the House is expected to pass the same bill that prevents a government shutdown later today. The spending bill not only keeps the government's lights.
So I told you the hurricane sucks away all the bad weather, and it is beautiful.
The funding to help with Hurricane Ian damage is still to come. Again, this is a temporary spending band-aid. Lame duck Congress must come back and do it all over again just before Christmas. ABC's Andy Field. As the cleanup begins from Hurricane Ian, so does the realization of how much it will cost. ABC's Andrew Fujii.
Not just homes and businesses, Florida produces 70% of citrus, like oranges and grapefruit. So depending on the damage to crops, experts warn that fruit and juice prices may rise. Good news, economists do not expect the price of oil and gas to rise, as Florida is not an energy producer.
This is ABC News.
Festivals, football, flannels. Some say fall is their favorite time of year. And this fall, there are now updated COVID-19 booster shots designed to help protect against COVID-19 variants. If you've had your primary series, schedule an updated COVID-19 booster shot appointment as soon as you're eligible. And don't forget to enjoy the foliage. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. Get it off your chest.
Just call in 888-GO-CANE-1. Hello. You'll thank us later. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Yes, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. It is Open Phones on Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday at 1-888-GO. Kane 1-888-465-2631. Hey, Steve, did you happen to catch Governor DeSantis' press conference that was last night? Oh, man, it was good. The TV cut away from it before it was over. It was a spectacular press conference. His wife, Casey DeSantis, is great. I'd forgotten she was a television reporter in Jacksonville, and she's good on TV. I've never really heard her speak, and she took to the podium, and she's in charge of the fundraising effort for hurricane relief. She's like Carrie Lake. She's very good, Florida's first lady. But the fake news media, they don't care about death and destruction. They don't care people have lost their businesses and their homes. All they care about is promoting Democrats, right, the media. And when Governor DeSantis started taking questions, they kept asking him about, oh, you're going to meet with President Biden when he comes to town. And he had he's like, well, I haven't heard him say that he's coming. And another guy asked him, I don't know if that's true that he's coming. And then he goes to Biden's FEMA guy. He says, hey, FEMA. He says, have you talked to the White House? Is Biden coming? He said, I don't know. They were trying to get a feud going between DeSantis and Biden because that's all the media care about, not those of you who are trying to get a hold of relatives who are missing. They don't care about any of that. They just care about partisan crap. But, I was thinking, I don't really want Biden to come to Florida, and I don't think he should. What good is going to come out of Joe Biden coming to our great state, Ron DeSantis' free Florida?
A lot of good. I predict what's going to happen, and I'll be amazed, and I'll give Biden credit if he doesn't do this. But they're definitely going to start to get heavy-handed with the election right around the corner, and they're going to start trying to use, because they're so desperate, they're going to try to use this hurricane to attack Trump and to attack MAGA and all that, because we've rejected their theory about global warming and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Nail in the coffin of the
Yeah.
Times good comes from bad.
Charlie Crist, who's running for governor in a losing campaign against Ron DeSantis, he gave an interview yesterday. Listen.
You listed earlier in your broadcast the 5 major storms that have hit the United States. 3 of the 5 have hit my Florida. And so...
My Florida. It's Charlie Crist, Florida. He says my Florida. It's his Florida. It's Charlie Crist, Florida. We're just living in it. But
3 of the 5 have hit my Florida. And so, one factor in all of this is climate change. These storms are getting bigger. They're getting stronger. And they're affecting that many more lives as a result of it.
Yeah, it's all about the climate change. Ever.
We're never going to get one.
Yeah, we almost got out of it. A very tail end of hurricane season. When Hurricane Katrina devastated New Orleans, and you look at, let me tell you, there's a big difference in the hurricane devastation in New Orleans and the hurricane devastation here. And if you know, you know what the difference is? It's the difference when a Democrat area is hit as opposed to a conservative area. There's been a lot of destruction. That story that came out from the Lee County Sheriff of hundreds of deaths in his county alone, that has not been proven to be true. Hopefully there'll be 0 deaths, but we've heard no reports on that. That was just his statement, but was not based on anything. So far, so good. But if you notice what's going on here that's much different, you don't see people on the side of the road, please help me, please help me. You see people taking care of business. You see guys with boats coming down the street. You see the airboats and everything else helping people, because this is Florida, that's a Republican state where people know how to take care of themselves. In New Orleans, in a Democrat state, everyone's on welfare up there in those projects. They don't know how to take care of themselves to even go to work and provide food for themselves on a good day. So when a hurricane hits a Democrat area like New Orleans, everyone, help me, I need the government, I don't know how to take care of myself. Here in Florida, in a Republican state, people take care of themselves and don't wait for the government, if you notice, right?
Our governor has done in setting these things up. I mean, he is so organized and so with it. It's breathtaking. And this is the way, this is what you want. If there's going to be a war, or we're trying to avoid a pending war, that's the kind of man you want up making the decisions for the United States and organizing the opposition to whatever crisis we're facing. And instead, we've got Biden, who doesn't know who's alive and...
Yeah, and when Florida's first lady came up, she's in charge of the fundraising effort by the state, right? And she raised $10 million yesterday, just in one day. And, when I didn't know too much about her. I mean, I know who she is and all of this, but I hadn't really heard her speak until she did yesterday. And I realized real quick, I'd heard that Governor DeSantis had put his wife in charge of this fundraising thing, and I didn't think much of it till I heard her speak. She's really running it. This is not something like they put Michelle Obama in charge of something and it's ceremonial where she comes in to take the glory. Casey DeSantis, she's really running the thing. You could tell. She was, exactly. And she did a great job. I mean, that's our second MAGA president right there. In 28, it's not his time in 24, 28, but he's going to do good. And you do see a big difference when a Republican area is hit from a liberal area. And I don't think any good, Steve, will come out of Biden coming here. First off, Governor DeSantis said this is a
if there's a fight, first of all, you understand that our
I have the link pinned
you
at the top.
understand.
Yeah.
Knows enough to sit back. Our governor has self-control, as opposed to Biden, who's obviously in outer space somewhere. So Any conflict between the two of them is only going to end up working.
Well, this is Governor DeSantis's second big disaster, right? The building collapse in Miami. He got involved in that and got that taken care of, from the corrupt officials down there that allow falling down buildings to not be torn down, right? But no. If Biden comes to town this week or over the weekend, it's bad news because there's so much involved when a president comes around like this that everything stops. The rescue effort, the recovery effort, it's all interfered with by that. And there's just no benefit. He can just go to Delaware like he does every weekend and then let FEMA do what they're supposed to do. So I want to throw this out to people in our audience. I really do. Do you agree with me that Biden should not come to Florida after this hurricane? He should not come to Florida. I don't want him here, and it's a negative. And he's going to try to take credit for everything. I did this and I did that. The media are going to suck it up and love it because they hate DeSantis.
The public is going to have, there's going to be a backlash that just won't quit.
I don't think Florida wants Biden to come here. Let me give out the number, and hey, listen, maybe I'm alone on this. I don't think Biden should come to Florida. I don't want him to come to Florida. Now, with that being said, I don't mind if President Trump wants to take his helicopter over to the West Coast and pop in and make a visit. I'm fine with that, but not Biden. Our number, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. It's a toll-free call, 1-888-465-2631. I'm sorry. No. And I don't want any... one of the things they'll try to do... Now, Ron DeSantis went to Harvard and Yale, by the way. Harvard and Yale. And he's a smart guy, and you can tell when he's on television. So he won't fall for it, but Biden comes to town, they're going to try to set him up because they know Chris Christie screwed himself when they had the hurricane hit New Jersey, and they had that moment right out of 10 with Bo Derek when he ran up on the beach like Dudley Moore and hugged Barack Obama. They're going to try to recreate a disaster for DeSantis with Biden if he comes to Florida. We're up against our break. Callers on hold, stand by. We will go to the phones after the break. It is open phones, anything you want to talk about on Fridays. But I'd like to hear from some people. Do you want Biden in Florida or not? I don't. Go to Delaware like you always do and do your corrupt dealings over there. Florida doesn't want you here. I'm sorry. 1-888-GO-KANE-1 is the number. 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve is here. I'm Brian Craig. We'll take our break, come back with your calls, and much, much more. We got a lot of topics we have not even touched on yet. Back after this. Here, I'm Brian Craig. We'll take our break, come back with your calls, and much, much more. We got a lot of topics we have not even... Yeah, I pinned the link to the top of the chat. That's Casey DeSantis' link to donate to Help Florida.
Tweeries Rare Coins and Jewelry. I'm Dean Macho. Tweeries is family owned and operated and have been in business for over 40 years serving South Florida. Tweeries pays you a great price for your valuable items. You can call them at 561-649-COIN. That's 561-649-2646. Or go to the website twery.com. Takes calls from customers day and night. They're at 3971 South John Road on the northwest corner of Lake Worth and John Road in Green Acres Plaza. Tweery's Rare Coins and Jewelry. Tell them Dean Mucho sent you.
A sniffle here and a sneeze there. Your first thought is what? Oh, I'm coming down with something. But did you ever think you might not be sick? You might have an allergy. Find out and have your allergies tested at any lab test now of Coral Springs or any lab test now of Boca. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ravenwood at the Coral Square Mall. Give them a call, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto and north of Hillsborough. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. They will test for both environmental necessary. And make sure you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Florida Luxury Cabinets is your local cabinet showroom right in Boca Raton. Specializing in custom cabinets and countertops, providing luxury design and installation, each style embodying a distinct character and a vibe that's unique to your personality and style. Stop to our showroom at Florida Luxury Cabinets for your free consultation. Florida Luxury Cabinets, 2621 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. Call 561-646-8560. That's 561-646-8560.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your installation, radiant barrier, and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business for 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I give you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Grab your coffee and get ready to be triggered. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Yes, we are back. I'm Brian Steve Kane here. Callers on hold, stand by. I am looking out of the building, the window here at the radio station, Steve. We are on the top floor of this office building, right down the street from the beach, and it is a clear sky. It is beautiful. It is sunny. A little chilly this morning, but I told you that when a hurricane comes through, afterwards you have beautiful, beautiful weather. And I want to tell you, today, tomorrow, Sunday, just a great time to take your car over to Spin Car Wash. I'm going to be there on Sunday, either before or after we have lunch at Anne Marie's, and get my daughter's car cleaned inside and out. And when you go over to Spin Car Wash, they have 6 locations, 3 in Broward, 3 in Dade. If you go to their website, spincarwash.com, you can get the address and directions to all locations. I'm going to go to the Commercial Boulevard location, which is just east of Dixie on the south side of Commercial next to the Wendy's. That's where I'll be on Sunday. But I'm going to sign my daughter up for their Unlimited Club, which means you can get as many car washes as you want for the month. Isn't that something? It's great. You know, your car is important. You spend a lot of money on your car. You want it to look great. In this Unlimited Club, let me go through the list of what they do at Spin Car Wash, Steve. Listen to this. They cover your car in lava foam and give it a foam bath. They shine your tires. They put the clear coat on your car. They do the underbody wash. They have a crystal clear windshield cleaner to perfectly scrub your windshield. Then they use oh yeah, and any other bugs that are smushed. It was amazing. I thought the bugs on the back of my side view mirrors were just a new pattern on the paint job on the car. All gone. They wash your car with triple foam. They pre-soak it. They wax your car. They brighten the wheels. They use scented soap. They have a wheel scrubber. And then they dry it off with their blower so it's completely dry. And they have high-powered vacuums, which you really need in that car carpeting, that are free. The vacuums are free. And you can get your car with that Unlimited Club washed as many times as you want. You know, my wife's car, I took it over there a week ago today, and Steve, you know, because they waxed it and did all of that list I went through. Even through all the bad hurricane weather, that wax has protected the car, and it looks like it was just, it's amazing. For the whole month, as many car washes as you want, it's less than $40. It's under $40. And yeah, it's a great deal. And you get all that I just listed. And yeah, I know, it's absolutely amazing. So again, 6 locations, 3 in Broward, 3 in Dade. And if you go to their website, spincarwash.com, you can get the address to all of those locations so you can find them. They're open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. And it's pretty cool. And the job they do is unbelievable. I mean, it's my wife's car looks like the day it was sitting in the showroom. It's amazing. All right, let's go back to our phones. 888-GIL, Kane 1, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Henry in West Palm. How you doing, Brian?
Hey, Henry. How are you? I'm doing great.
I'm
good, Ben. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
Hey, this guy should not come here.
Biden? Why?
Should not here. Because it's just going to be some kind of opportunity for him to take
Henry,
back
exactly. Henry, let me ask you a question. I'm going to make a statement. I want you to answer it just very, very simply, yes or no. Do you? Or it's not. I think about it. It's not a yes or no question, but it's my contention that the more we see of Biden between now and the election day, the better it is for our election, our chances of election. The more the public sees of Biden, the worse it is for them. You agree or disagree?
I agree. Actually, Judge Sacks said that on some left-wing media show.
Yeah, MSNBC, yeah.
Well, I don't know about Shinsaki. I'm making the statement for me. Do you agree with me or not agree with me?
Absolutely 100%.
Okay, so it's settled.
No, and let me tell you, I don't want Biden here because it's going to disrupt the recovery for these suffering people on the West Coast. It has to stop because of the security when he comes here.
What we need is to win as many seats and...
No. No. I just don't want Biden in Florida. That's just me. You know, in Berkeley they don't want Jews. In Florida we don't want Democrats.
What's the chances of there being a silver alert if he's here?
Yeah, right. That's funny. Good call. All right, West Palm. Thanks for your call. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Mike in Wellington.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, just as far as what Steve was just saying, the more that he comes out, it doesn't matter. The people that already know, it's just solidifying what people already know. It's the liberal Democrats left wing. They don't care if he's staggering around. You know, they don't care. We don't need to be solidified for us even more. And as far as him coming to the state, you know what? If he wants to tour the damage, get in a helicopter. You know, stay off the ground. He's not welcome in the state. This administration is disgruntled towards Florida and DeSantis, so keep him out.
Yeah.
Comment after that, but
yeah, go ahead. I agree with you. Yeah, do a flyover. Yeah.
So, yeah, and then as far as since it's Open Phone Friday, to talk about this or being rammed down our throat, I'd like to see the government take the lead on this. Let's make all the police cars, all the municipalities EV. Let's make all the highway patrols EV. Let's make the presidential limousine EVs. Let's make the Secret Service vehicles EVs. All public transportation. Let them take the role first. They won't do it because they know it's not going to work.
Yeah, the EV is a shorthand for electric vehicles. You're using liberal speak, EVs. Yeah, it's like they don't want to call critical race theory. They want to call it CRT, so you don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, could you imagine if the police... Could you imagine if the police used electric vehicles? I love to watch a good police chase on the California freeways. You just have to wait until their batteries are dead. Just got to keep them going. Yeah.
Great.
Richie the bus driver, every once in a while he has an interesting thing to say, and he made a good point yesterday. In fact, it was so good he probably heard somebody say it on television and pass it off as his own. But that being said, he said, not bitter, just jabbing him there. But Richie the bus driver made a good point yesterday. He said, could you imagine what it would be like, for the Tesla owners over on the West Coast today? They can't charge their vehicles. They're stuck. Right? Yeah, where are you going to charge your vehicle up? You can't do it. Electric vehicles just are not the way. I'll tell you a thing about an electric vehicle. In the early days of cars, there was a debate in the early 20th century between gas and electric. Like right after the First World War. And gas ran out because you couldn't travel far on batteries back then. And battery technology really is not advanced that much in 100 years.
Realize we've been here before. We have played this play before. Mm-hmm. Doesn't work.
My brother...
The heating and...
Yeah, exactly.
Solar and all this, and it fell flat on its face. That run the government, they made money.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is all about. but it didn't work for the public, and it died of its own.
Yeah, they make money because before anyone hears about it, Nancy Pelosi's husband buys up stock in companies no one heard of, and then they pass green laws, and then that company goes up and hey, listen, caller, great call. We're up against the break. Thanks so much. We're coming up on our bottom of the hour break. More calls after the break. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Open phones on Friday. Anything and everything you have on your mind is fair game at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call from anywhere. 888-465-2631. Just a little more than 30 minutes to go, and it's the weekend. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Back after this. 6:31. Just a little more than 30 minutes to go, and it's the weekend. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Back after this.
Tired of boring mornings? We serve controversy with your morning coffee. The Steve Kane Show. Oldies 95.3 and 96.9. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning at 10 a.m. From the Tweery's Rare Coins and Jewelry Weather Center. Tweery's, the most trusted dealer in rare coins, fine jewelry, precious metals, and more since 1982. Here's the Oldies weather forecast.
Good morning, South Florida. Temperatures right now actually in the 60s and the lower 70s. A nice cool start to your morning. Temperatures later today will be reaching the mid to upper 80s and morning lows in the 60s and the lower 70s. Numbers going meteorology and that's
Follow Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 on social media. See what's happening in the community, have a laugh with some funny memes, and keep in touch with other good time Oldies lovers. Facebook and Instagram at Oldies South Florida. True Oldies. Traffic check.
In the Palm Beaches, the major expressways are still crash-free at this time, but we're seeing slowdowns along the Turnpike heading northbound approaching the D-Line Highway. I-95 northbound is also a little bit slower approaching the Atlantic Capital Railway. We're also seeing as usual stop and no delays now on 95 heading northbound from Deerfield Beach into Boca Raton. As for the service streets, we see a multi-
Yeah, that link I pinned to the top is for Casey DeSantis' fundraiser for Florida. Be right back.
This report is sponsored by Blindster. Want to save big on new blinds? Blindster.com offers custom-made blind shades and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Shop Blindster now and save 45% off any order. Just use the code RADIO. Offer ends soon. Shop today at Blindster.com. That's traffic. I'm Chris Barr.
Brian Craig here. How would you like a free doorbell camera? That's right, a free doorbell camera. I have one and you will love one. The first 40 listeners who call 1-833-283-5050 will get a free doorbell camera that connects with your cell phone with the installation of your Sloman Shield. You can see your home right from the palm of your hands no matter where you are. And that's not all. Sloman's is going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you're getting an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 arm doors, and a backup battery. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 listeners to call 1-833-283-5050, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. So call Sloman's right now for this limited time offer. 1-833-283-5050. 1-833-283-5050. 1-833-283-5050.
This is Lori Kane. When people go to the dentist, they think of the pain.
Now listen, guys, if you have not already done so, go to mypillow.com and support Mike Lindell. I mean, what he's going through, and I was telling everybody earlier, it's my wife just sent me a screenshot on the back porch of our house, 65 degrees, which that's cold weather for us here in Florida. The MyPillow 100% Giza cotton dream sheets. There's a huge special on them right now, just $39.99 with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And that includes the flannels. I have 2 sets of the flannels, 4 of the regular, and man, they are great, just $39.99. And I checked before the show today, all sizes for every mattress are in, every color, every pattern, everything. So yeah, mypillow.com, promo code KANE, just $39.99. That's a much better deal than I got on mine. I'll tell you that.
January 28th on the Celebrity Apex out of Fort Lauderdale. First stop, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Then Tortola in the British Virgin Islands. With exclusive events just for our group. Fine dining together every night. Cocktail parties, shore excursions, onboard activities, and a whole lot more. On the line is Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. Ian, why should listeners book right now?
I blocked this group's face during COVID during the height of the pandemic, so we got some incredible deals.
Call Ian right now and lock in your cabin. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. Join us as we celebrate our president, Donald Trump. Make a reservation right now. 561-244-5779. No double stowaways. Wow.
Anne-Marie Peet's Wine Company, family owned, family operated. Where Grandma Carrie Ann herself is in the kitchen. Amazing pizza, sizzling Philly cheesesteaks, salads, pasta, subs, and much more. Music, patio seating, and 2-for-1 on all beer and wine for ladies' night every Wednesday. Mention Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 and receive a 15% discount. Come visit us today at Anne-Marie's Pizza Wine Company, your local family-owned Italian restaurant located on the corner of Copens Road and Federal Highway. Copens Road and Federal Highway. Anne-Marie's. We'll see you here.
Brian Craig here. I've suffered with massive pain in my knee for years, but not anymore. It's all gone, thanks to Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain system. I'm in studio right now with Dr. Appleton. Dr. Appleton, how'd you do it?
Well, I treated your knee pain with laser. Treatment is simple and no side effect. I have robotic lasers that have a wonderful effect on joint pain. These are all FDA approved.
Now, you don't just help with knees. Tell the listeners what other areas you can help them with.
Any joint I can do, shoulder pain, hip pain, sciatica, stenosis, arthritis, tendonitis, bursitis, from the foot all the way up to the neck.
Dr. Appleton is a chiropractic physician, and with the laser away pain system, there's no injections, no surgery, and no drugs. He's open 6 days a week, and
41,
same-day appointments are available. Call right now for your free consultation. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And make sure to tell Dr. Appleton you heard about him on the radio.
Now, back to the...
Yes, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve is here. Now, Steve and I, we are having lunch at Anne-Marie's Pizza and Wine Company on Copens and US 1 Sunday at noon. And I'm going over the menu. Okay? And yes. So excited. We've got a band playing behind us celebrating our lunch. Wait, Steve. We've got a band playing behind us very loudly. I want everyone to hear. I think they're playing the full orchestra on this one because we've been back for 30 seconds and they're still playing. There we go. All right. I want everybody to hear what we're ordering. Thank you very much. Okay. Live radio, people, live. You never know what's going to happen. Yeah, we're cool. Yeah, we were on before.
They have a dish called, I love the lobster over there. They have lobster in a lot of their dishes, cooked Italian style.
Yep.
They have a mac and cheese with lobster, claw meat, only the claw meat, which is, of course, the special part of the lobster that's the tenderest and moistest and most delicious. So that's what I'm having. I'm going to be trying that. And
oh, that sounds great. Well, I've already picked out my meal next. This is my third week in a row. They've been with us for 3 weeks. So this is my weekend thing is lunch at Anne-Marie's. So we were there the first time. I had the baked ziti. Last week, I had the Sicilian, which is unbelievable. And this week, I'm ordering the lasagna. And listen to this, Steve. The Anne-Marie's lasagna. Grandma's recipe. Oh, man. And by the way, that's for real because Grandma is there and makes all this stuff. So this is really Grandma's recipe. The lasagna, Grandma's recipe, made with layers of pasta, ricotta cheese, spinach, and ground beef. And you can add, if you would like, chicken, meatballs, or sausage. So I'm going to get the lasagna and I'm going to add the sausage to it. And, of course, for the appetizer, I know you're going to get the lobster ravioli, which is 3 large homemade raviolis stuffed with chunks of Maine lobster, and that is real Maine lobsters. You can tell as soon as you take that first bite, topped with goat cheese, lobster cream sauce. My appetizer, I'm going to get Grandma's cheesy bread. Anne-Marie's famous pizza bread covered in cheese and garlic, served with marinara dipping sauce. I mean, this is, man, my stomach is growling. I mean, and next time, Steve, because I'm, I'm ordering ahead for next time. Next time I'm going to get the Alfredo, which, oh man, butter, Parmesan, and a touch of heavy cream. I got to put this menu. Did you hear that? My stomach just growled. Did my mic pick up that stomach growl? I don't know. It's, my stomach's growling. I don't know if the mic picked it up. But anyway, listen. Steve and I are going to be there Sunday at noon. You're welcome to come and say hi and join us and have a meal yourself. This is an unofficial appearance. It's not a personal appearance we're promoting, but you're welcome to come and join us on Sundays, and I hope to see you guys there. Now, if you can't make it on Sunday, hey, listen, they're open 6 days a week, closed on Mondays. Stop by. They're open for lunch, dinner, and takeout, and Anne Marie's is in Pompano on the corner of Copans and US 1 Federal Highway on the west side of US 1 in the same plaza as the movie theater. All right, very easy to find. Now, listen to this story, Steve. This is, oh man. The red tsunami and the blue flush are coming. Listen to this. Oh, I just lost the story there. Just flew. Here it is. Okay. Now, there are some places where you don't follow, really, the politics, because you just assume they're going a certain way, right? Like New York. We don't really get too involved in New York or California politics. But there's one place that this may be the first time we've talked about a candidate in this state, Oregon. Oregon, which is, that's, I mean, they're just, that's as liberal as it gets, Oregon, right? Listen to this. The Republican running for governor in Oregon is maintaining strong poll numbers and is now winning. Yeah, her name is Christine. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. Drazen. If she wins this race, she is in the lead in the poll. She'll be the first Republican elected to the governorship in Oregon since the 1980s. Well, I think people are fed up and they're hungry and suffering with this economy. But she is in the lead out there now in Oregon. I think all that Antifa crap out there did the Democrats in. That's amazing. For that to even be something that's being discussed, I don't know enough about. I don't follow politics in Oregon.
Going on across the country to, as though to call attention to the catastrophic results of Democratic rule.
Yeah, no, people have had it. They've had, what's happened to the Democrats. A lot of things have happened to the Democrats, right? It's been the perfect storm of destruction. It's not just Biden and Kamala Harris and their incompetency, and it was the crime, the summer of crime, everything that's going on. But there's an old phrase that the media used every day when Ronald Reagan was president, and they don't use it anymore because it doesn't fit their agenda. People vote their pocketbook. People vote their pocketbook. And, gas prices have come down, but they're still from the high, but they're still twice what they were. But yeah, so, and I noticed with the hurricane prep, there were no gas lines at the gas stations, period, that I saw. And it was the first time. People see a storm coming out of Africa. They're lining up at the gas stations with the 5-gallon drums. And I saw nothing like that in South Florida. Now, obviously, we didn't get hit, but that doesn't matter. You still prep. People were not prepping. And I was listening to some reporting with the local media over on the west coast of Florida. They were talking to people, why didn't you evacuate? I can't afford to. Can't afford to. That's, so that people vote their pocketbook is what's going on here, coast to coast. And it's exciting. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Because I'm Pompano Beach.
Hey, Lisa.
Well, anyway, I just want to say I missed about an hour of your show this.
Shame on you.
No, because my girlfriend, she actually lives on the west coast of Florida, so she...
Excuses.
No, but anyways, I can always catch up with you later on YouTube.
Yeah.
I just want to say I'm going to go, hopefully meet you guys on, we're going to do takeout. My husband and I are going to do takeout.
Oh, okay.
So that's at chicken parm. The sliders.
Oh, man.
good, and I think I'm gonna do the pizza, the sausage, peppers, and onion pizza.
Oh man.
Even though the Dolphins aren't playing on Sunday, my husband will always watch football. Doesn't matter. I'm bringing it home. You know.
That's awesome. That's great. You're making me my hunger pains went away, and now they're coming back. It does. It does look awesome, and because it is.
More of those garlic. I love garlic rolls.
You can never have enough garlic rolls.
It's a great menu because they get all these things in colored pictures. So
I know, that's why I looked it up online after listening to you guys. So hopefully I'll see you there if you're there when I take you and do the. I don't want to bother you guys.
It's no bother.
I love your show. I've been listening for like 7 years, and thank you, because enlightening a lot of people about what's going on in the world.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Well, thanks so much. She missed the beginning of the show. Oh my goodness, there was a really shocking confession made by Greg too in the first hour. Did you happen to hear that call, Steve? Oh boy, it was amazing. An amazing call. Oh no, this was a beautiful call today. It was he confessed something he didn't mean to confess. Our great First Lady of Florida, Mrs. DeSantis, who's running this fundraising thing, she raised $10 million yesterday. Just yesterday. That was just yesterday, by the way, before the press conference. My wife and I donated to the fund, and Greg called in and he asked me what Donald Trump has done. He supposedly lives in Florida, he says. And I said, well, he hasn't shared that with us, but he's a very charitable guy. I'm sure President Trump has donated or will donate. And I asked him a question that I didn't think was going to be so devastating to him. I asked him, well, what has he done to help people in Florida after the hurricane? Yeah, and he said he offered his friends on the West Coast to stay at his house, but they said no. So I said, oh, so you've done nothing. He's done nothing. So Greg, too, has done nothing to help with the hurricane relief on the west coast of Florida. And that was, oh boy, it was a brutal confession, but we got it out of him. Listen, we're going to take our last break of the day and of the week. And after that, we'll talk to William Youngerman with the Gold Report. But it is open phones, and there's one segment of the show left. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. My name's Brian. Steve Kane is here, and of course, we're here with you weekdays from 5 until 9. And don't forget, this Trump rally in Michigan, Saturday night, is one you do not want to miss. It's for Tudor Dixon, who's running for governor against that lunatic Governor Whitmer. And you'll like this one, Steve. Tudor Dixon, she's really good looking. You'll like this one, so you'll want to hear. But she's brilliant. I only heard of her for the first time a few weeks ago. It's at CPAC. And I heard her speak at CPAC, and she is, like everyone else that President Trump endorses, brilliant. You know, these MAGA women show that you can be beautiful, you can be hot, you can be sexy, and be very smart and competent, too. Name one. All right, we'll be back after this. Smart and competent,
Are you saying that the Democratic women are not beautiful and sexy and hot?
Name one. All right, we'll be back after this.
The longest running radio show in the state of Florida. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
All right, and it's time for the final Gold Report of the week. Each morning at this time, we check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated and take a look at the precious metals markets. William Youngerman, how's gold and silver and platinum looking this morning?
They're looking very good, Brian. The markets have been holding nicely after a key reversal that we put in earlier this week. And yesterday we saw gold close up 30 cents at $1,660.40 the ounce. That was after hitting a high of $16.65. Silver was down 9 cents at $18.80, while platinum was down $1 at $864. Palladium closed up $56 yesterday at $2,134. On more inflation data coming out today, we see gold moving higher up $8.30 right now at $16.68.70. Silver $19 the ounce now, up 20 cents. Platinum up unchanged at $864, and palladium up $11 at $21.45. So again, gold just under the $1,700 number, still a great buy opportunity, as well as silver at $19.
Yeah, and gold, always the gold standard. But is it common, William Youngerman, for people, they may not have enough to buy an ounce of gold, but they'll buy silver and they'll hold on to it kind of like a savings and then transfer that and exchange it for gold? Do people do that often?
Yeah, silver is often called poor man's gold, and it's a commodity in and of itself and well worth owning. So a lot of times we see people buying the silver when they don't have enough to get a fractional gold coin or a full 1 ounce gold coin. So, and both of them will go up hand in hand. So you don't want to sit on the sidelines and think, oh, I just don't have enough money to buy gold. Well, you can buy silver.
Yeah, and silver is good too, and it is beautiful, and the coins are spectacular. And William Youngerman is open at 10 a.m. You can call over there after 10 at 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, online, williamyoungerman.com, or you can stop right in. And, you don't have to be local to do business with William Youngerman. No matter where you're located throughout America, the world, or even another part of our community, and you can't make it over there, you can do all your transactions over the phone. But if you can stop in, you really should, because William Youngerman's store is really a museum. It is beautiful, and you will see a collection of coins and old money and gold and silver in forms you've never seen before, and it's really beautiful. Located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, we will talk next week. All right, back after this.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. There's only one opening on the board where William Youngerman was at. So if you'd like to call in, you can call in on that line at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. It's our final segment of the week. It is open phones, and we'll try to get to all the callers on hold if we can before the end. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is JJ from Matt.
Oh, hey, JJ.
Hey, good morning, Steve and Brian. First, just my best wishes for everybody in the path of that hurricane. I lived down there for about 15 years and went through a few. And I'm glad to hear that the sheriff from yesterday, God, hopefully, is mistaken about that. Not made me sick to my stomach yesterday.
Yeah, I had a hard time getting through the rest of the show after hearing that.
I really, it was, and then I just was thinking about the. Well, anyway, I have some relatives there, but everyone's fine. And
great.
Best wishes to everyone over there. God bless everyone there. With regard to you and Steve going to this restaurant for lunch, and it's not an official event, but I think I just want that restaurant. They're probably, if they're not listening, hopefully you guys give them a call, give them a heads up, because they're going to get a lot more people, I believe, than I used to be a restaurant manager, and they should have all hands on deck, because I think they're going to get nailed to the tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that's the kind of that's the worst kind of problem a business can have, right?
If you're prepared.
No, you guys, my stomach just growled again. Did the mic pick it up that time? You guys keep bringing up Anne Marie's. I would have there's 10 minutes left of the show, guys. I can't eat till 9.
Steve talking the description of the loft, the ravioli, and the whip.
Oh man,
and it makes me want to fly to Florida and go there and have a bite to eat. But with regard to Trump on this weekend here in Michigan, I heard yesterday, and I'm not sure if you've seen it anywhere, but I saw yesterday where a Michigan election worker.
Oh, really? Oh. Well, that's amazing. But I want to tell you guys, I know you don't want to miss any Trump rally. This one, though, you want to make sure you don't miss. And I want to tell you why. Tudor Dixon, I was just talking about how good-looking she is to hopefully get some other guys to watch. President Trump has endorsed people that you may have never heard of that are so brilliant. I saw Tudor Dixon for the first time at CPAC a month or two ago, and she came up to speak, and I almost went to get a Coke, oh, who's she? Who cares, And I was blown away. I didn't even know what she looked like yet. I just heard her from the kitchen. Everyone President Trump has picked, they are brilliant, they're sharp, they're right on all the issues, and if you notice, they're not old people. Nothing against the old. I'm not one of the, this isn't Logan's Run. But what I mean is, he's endorsing this young crop of MAGA conservatives. We've got decades and decades of incredible people coming up. The apprentice exists. It's just now the political apprentice instead of the celebrity apprentice. And the people that he has chosen, whether it's look at Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis was losing the Republican primary before President Trump endorsed him. And what a blessing that's been to Florida. Not just the lockdowns and the shutdowns, but look at the perfect execution after this 500-year storm we were just hit with. Kari Lake, and you're going to see Tudor Dixon for the first time, many of you people, tomorrow night, and you're going to be as impressed as I am with her. She is so good on the issues, just like Kari Lake.
Listen, Trump, he does know talent. I mean, when he got in, he was figuring out how corrupt things were, but he's on top of his MAGA, all the MAGA primary wins. And, I think this hasn't been discussed, probably because it's probably a little bit of a long. If they.
Oh, now you're in long shot territory. We got to talk about what's coming up, not that stuff. It won't get you anywhere with that. Oh, I tell you. Oh, did you hear what Fetterman did, Steve? He purged his campaign website of any references to Black Lives Matter. A Democrat doing that's desperation. Desperation. That's amazing. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. It sounds like a lawnmower in the background.
Yeah. Hey, I have something of interest. I listen to the radio.
It's something buzzing. What's buzzing in the background?
I'm working.
It sounds. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. On the radio, they have this commercial. Talking about, sign a petition to make the governor make the train safe. Tell me if I'm wrong. The top 95% of people who die from these train accidents, they're either committing suicide, they're drunk or under.
You're talking about the Bright Line? Okay. I rode the Bright Line, and I made a very good YouTube video about it. You guys should look at it on my YouTube channel. And the Bright Line is that high-speed train. It goes by, I don't know how many times during the show, right outside the window. It's killed more people than any other train on the rails of America per mile that's currently running in this country. And a lot of it is because of homeless people and things on the track. But the Bright Line is about to open up all the way to Orlando from Miami and then over to Tampa. And it's pretty cool. And I rode it, and I paid a little extra and got the first class ticket. It's an open bar with top shelf. Steve, I had about 6 screwdrivers on the way down and the way up to Miami, and I didn't have to drive. I'm just riding on the. It's pretty cool.
Right. The fatalities are people committing suicide, people who are drunk or on drugs. And the third group are the people who are overly aggressive, and they try to race through the bars coming down. Now, here's the question. How in the world can somebody put pressure on the governor to legislate against stupidity? You can't regulate stupidity, and that's who's getting killed.
Well, I don't know. This is what I don't get about the Bright Line, okay? The Bright Line, the thing about the Bright Line, this is about the people getting run over, okay? It's the high-speed train, but when it's on the rails of it's only running now between Palm Beach and Miami. It doesn't get up to the high speeds between Palm Beach and Miami. It goes at the same speed as the Tri-Rail, pretty much. So why is it that the Tri-Rail's not killing people all the time, but the Bright Line is? They go about the same speed, And it's, you know, it's not, it'll go, when it opens up to Orlando, they'll open it up to full throttle. But now it's like 55 miles an hour, maybe, you know, at the highest. It goes the same speed as Tri-Rail. So why is Brightline killing people, but I don't hear stories about Tri-Rail killing people all the time?
They're trying to put pressure on the governor.
Yeah, yeah.
How can the governor legislate to protect people from their own?
Yeah, good point. Appreciate the call. I want to ask the audience a question, okay? This is a very important question. Are you in pain? I used to be. You know, 3 weeks ago yesterday, Steve, I went and saw Dr. Philip Appleton, and he treated me with his laser away pain system for my knee pain. And here I am, 3 weeks and a day later, I'm pain-free in my knee. And, you know, laser away pain with Dr. Appleton works on more than just knee pain. Any joint in your body, but not just joint pains, like tennis elbow, neck pain, and all of that. Also arthritis, bursitis, lumbar pain, muscular contraction, strains, sprains, tinnitus, many other things. If you're in pain, call Dr. Philip Appleton. Now, when you call, make sure you mention you heard about him on the radio, because it's a free consultation for radio listeners. And he's also open 6 days a week, the 6th being tomorrow, Saturday. No appointment necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, because Dr. Appleton knows when you're in pain, you need help, you need relief, you need it now. Give him a call. 954-973-0710. No injections, no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. 954-973-0710. Online at AppletonCairo.com. He's located in Pompano, just about a mile north of Cypress Creek Road on the west side of Powerline. All right, let's see if we can squeeze in another caller or two. We got 2 minutes left. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, it's Mike in Fort Lauderdale. How are you? Good morning, Steve, Brian.
Good morning.
I'm going to end your day on, my wife and I were at Anne Marie's last evening for a quick bite. I had the Philly cheesesteak, which was unbelievable. In fact, it was so big and delicious, I have half of it that I brought to lunch at work today. So,
wow.
And she had the lobster ravioli size of plenty enough for her.
Is that not incredible, that lobster ravioli?
Yeah, and the people were so nice, and I told them about you guys, and I mean, they just treated us really well. It's just a great place. The food is delicious, and I hope your mouth is watering, and you get there for some lunch.
It is, and my stomach is growling yet again, because I can just taste that lobster ravioli right now as you mention it. Now listen, Steve and I are going to be at Anne Marie's Sunday at noon. Anne Marie's is located in Pompano on the corner of Copans and US 1 in the same plaza as the movie theater. Well, thanks so much for your kind words about Anne Marie's. You too. Take care. All right. Now, you got to be quick, caller. You have 30 seconds.
Hey, Brian. Good afternoon almost. So anyway, I wanted to just see if you commented on those stupid comments Biden made about getting vaccinated in the hurricane zone, trying to somehow get vaccinated.
Point on YouTube, okay?